Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and it is Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. We've got a really beautiful show. We've got Marianne Williamson, we've got Kristen Hoffman, we've got amazing speakers, musicians, and a beautiful theme, angels and miracles. And who better than having Marianne talking about A Course in Miracles? So it's a really special show. And I want to welcome all of you watching on Facebook right now and on all of our different broadcast partners. Of course, a lot of you are watching on Unify. And a reminder that please share it out with people. You can even start a watch party. Just share it out. This is how we reach a lot of people. A big thank you to John and Summer Raymer and the Sign Network, who put us out to hundreds of Facebook groups and pages. And with no further ado, I want to introduce my wonderful partner, Deborah Giusti.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone with so much love to what is now our 40th show that we've produced every Saturday night since the lockdown during these highly challenging but very evolutionary times. And we've launched our new winter season. We have 13 shows to share with you, and we'll talk more about that later. And thank you so much for all your donations when you sign up. That really helps us produce a fabulous show for you every week. And again, this is going to be a very special show tonight. The theme is Angelic Activations and Manifesting Miracles. Tonight, we are going to get informed and empowered to align with the angelic realms and the unseen forces and awarenesses that allow us to manifest miracles. And what better time than these unprecedented times of the shift on the planet now to get guidance and assistance from the higher forces that are available if we tune in and ask them. So the angels do assist us in our awakening and our ascension, and no better time than now to call on them and have them guide us through these incredible times. And we have assembled an impressive show of luminaries and musicians that have very personal relationships with the angelic realm and manifesting miracles. And I'm going to introduce them to you now. We're so happy to have Marianne Williamson, best-selling author, political activist, spiritual thought leader, and expert on the Course of Miracles. Thank you, Marianne, for being with us. We have Sonja Grace, who is award-winning author, mystic healer, energy surgeon, who works long distance with clients all around the world. Happy to have you with us, Sonja. And we have Meg Benedicte, who is guided by Archangel Metatron. Meg is a master alchemist who has developed a unique healing modality, quantum access, for all to accelerate their personal ascension. We have Shri and Kira all the way from Ecuador. Their sacred partnership is a theme that shares cutting-edge teachings all around the world with ascension, and especially enlightened by the angelic realm. Thank you for being with us. We have Carolyn Corey, who is an award-winning filmmaker, futurist, and visionary author of best-selling books on consciousness and energy medicine. And we have amazing musicians as always. We have Kristen Hoffman, who's a Juilliard-trained singer-songwriter, musician, and vocalist for the internationally acclaimed show Bella Gaia. We have Fanny Starchild and Vigari, musical entertainers, lovers of the earth, educators, workshop leaders, and artists who make caring for the world a good time. We have Yuval Ron, composed songs and scores for the Oscar-winning film West Bank Story, and has led peace missions tours throughout the world with the Yuval Ron Ensemble. And we have magician Justin Sight. He is legally blind magician and filmmaker who is passionate about using the art of illusion to point to the magic of what is. And we're going to have a special presentation with Stuart Pierce at the end of our show. So please stay for that. He's a man who's extremely connected with the angelic realms. He gave an extremely incredible interview about the group of angels that are supporting us now with the evolution that the United States is going through. So please stay around for that. And I also want to honor our sponsor and executive producer, Jay Mayer, who is the founder of Light Touch, and he's a producer of broadcast videos. And Jan Kaplan, who also worked on this show. She's a producer, singer, and she totally helped create this show. So thank you so much, both of you, for being a part of this show. And we get to start out with an incredible presentation from Marianne Williamson. One second here. Marianne, I call her a Wonder Woman, modern Wonder Woman of these times, because not only does she source what she shares from spirit with guidance and from the core of her being, she is a stand from the core of Mother Earth for being a warrior of presentations and being a stand for the Mother Earth. She not only ran for Congress in 2014, she went into the belly of the beast and ran as a presidential candidate and was a stand for truth and justice and the voice of our voice. And she's also an author of 14 books and an expert on the Course of Miracles. And we're so happy to have her now, Marianne Williamson.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Deborah. And I want to congratulate you and Scott for this marvelous program, keeping this space together for so many people to join. You know, there is a line in the Course in Miracles that says, an idea grows stronger when it's shared. So I think everybody on this call tonight knows, you know, we're not in a period of data collection. We've all collected the same data at this point. We've all been reading the books, writing the books, listening to the tapes. We've all been at this for many years. But you get such a feeling on a night like tonight, and so much of the work we're all doing now, that it's not so much we're coming together to learn new things. We're coming together in order to access more deeply the things which by now all of us already know. But when we're thinking about them together, you can just feel the resonant field. So people like yourself and Scott, who give us this opportunity to come together, to share this kind of information with each other in this kind of symphonic way where everybody's bringing their little piece of the picture, is really, it's an honor to be part of it. So thank you. I have been asked to talk about these things specifically through the filter of the Course in Miracles. All of us here know there's one truth spoken in many different ways. Everybody here is bringing a piece from a specific tradition, a specific aspect. The Course in Miracles, when it talks about angels, it says angels are the thoughts of God. And the Course in Miracles says that there is in both Christianity and in Judaism, there's the concept of what's called the small, still voice within. So this idea that there's an actual voice for God. The Christians call it the voice of the Holy Spirit. The Course in Miracles calls it the voice for God. Judaism, it's a small, still voice for within. And, you know, even people without any kind of a religious or spiritual context, of course, talk about it as deep intuition. The idea that there is a guidance system, that the idea of the angels talking to us means the thoughts of God are constantly beaming in. But what the Course in Miracles says is that the ego mind, which is the thought system of fear, which has dominated this planet for millions of years in time as we know it, the Course in Miracles says the ego speaks first and the ego speaks loudest. So the reason all the great religious and spiritual traditions I've ever read about talk about the importance of the morning, because the morning is when we first download whichever voice is going to dominate our thinking all day. So if you get up in the morning, especially at a time like this, and go, first thing you do is you go to the television, you go to the radio, you go to the computer, you go to your phone, and you just download the consciousness of fear and the filter of fear, then certainly there's no mystery why you're depressed by noon. And that's why I think so much of our work, for us to really remind people that, you know, you take a bath in the morning or a shower because you don't want to take yesterday's dirt with you into the day. But if we don't clean out our thought forms through prayer, meditation, whatever our spiritual practice is, then we take this yesterday's stress into the day. And of course, today we're not just taking our own stress, we're taking the stress of certainly everybody in the United States and really millions and millions of people around the world. So this idea of listening to the angels, though, and it goes back to what we were talking about before, practical application, because if you haven't gotten that grounding in the morning, now the Course in Miracles says, speaking about doing the workbook, it's speaking about its path specifically, but we all know it doesn't matter the specific path. No specific path has a monopoly on truth. But the Course in Miracles says, if you will spend 5 minutes with the Holy Spirit, and of course, Holy Spirit, whatever the language, but it says 5 minutes with the Holy Spirit in the morning will guarantee he will be in charge of your thought forms throughout the day. And it's so interesting, and we all know this. If I do my meditation in the morning, and you learn to be disciplined about it simply because you know what a danger you can be to yourself and others if you don't. It's not like you go through the day thinking, wow, I meditated this morning. But if you don't do it, you go through the day with just a little off feeling. And I have just had so many experiences in my life where I just did something stupid. I said something stupid, self-sabotaging. I had an attitude that just turned people off. I did whatever to undermine my experience, because that's what your ego is. Your ego is your own self-hatred, but it's masquerading as self-love. So in the moment you think you're doing the cool, right thing. And I've asked myself so often, did I not meditate that morning? And it's the common denominator more than anything, just even, Blaise Pascal, the late French philosopher, said, and he wasn't even speaking in a spiritual or religious context, he said, every problem in the world can be traced to man's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. So the idea of the quieting of the mind is so important right now. And I think our work right now, I don't think there's ever been a time, I don't think it's an accident. I'll bet you everybody on the screen right now has been at this for years, because we've been rehearsing. Right now, the chaos is so great. I don't know how someone with an unprepared nervous system is even enduring this moment in history. And it's either pharmaceuticals or us in terms of where people are going. They're either going to go to drugs, alcohol, or pharmaceuticals, or. And listen, if you're not an addict, there's not a problem with the drugs and the alcohol, but you know what I'm saying. That everybody's just, because the nervous system that is made, that is created by the ego mind, is one of freneticism, hysteria, depression, obsession, addiction, pain, and just what Buddha would call suffering. And so it doesn't, as we know. I mean, all of us know. I mean, I've just heard the work described that all of you do. We all know this. It doesn't, it's almost like, it's the interesting thing about spiritual work to me is it's a tincture. Just the littlest bit, even that 5 minutes in the morning, and to learn these principles, and I think people are picking this up right now because of everything going on. All of us need to be a little kinder. I see somebody saying deep breathing, breathe a little more deeply. Just be more forgiving. Just even if you can just even imagine to concentrate on that's the training of the Course in Miracles. You're going to focus on someone's guilt because they probably did something wrong. And you've done things wrong too, but you have a choice where you focus. You're going to focus on what they did wrong, or you're going to choose to focus on what they did right. You're going to choose to blame them for what they did wrong, or you're going to choose to remember, I can have a grievance or I can have a miracle. I cannot have both. Because the Course in Miracles says, where there is love, miracles occur naturally. And the miracle is, the Course in Miracles says, it's an intercession from a thought system beyond our own. And that is the angelic manifestation. It's when you listen to the voice of love, the voice of forgiveness, the voice that says, what are you here to give rather than what are you here to get? The voice that says, why don't you just lighten up a little? It's the voice that says, just be a little nicer. It's the voice that says, make this a little bit less about you, okay? It's the voice that says, there's something bigger going on than just your stuff, It's just that voice of the higher, like stand higher, rise to the occasion. The Course in Miracles says, we're not perfect, or we would not have been born. But it is our mission to become perfect here. And our community has enough with what our colleague Carolyn Mace has called woundology. We've spent so many years talking about our neuroses, and right now, I believe we need to spend more time acknowledging one another for our strengths, bowing before each other's strengths more, because maybe none of us on this screen are perfect enlightened masters. I know I'm not, but we're a whole lot better than we used to be when we started all this. And as long as we continue to do the work ourselves, always striving to be better, I think the work we're doing is a great gift to the world at this time. And anything we do that helps people just remember to be kinder, to forgive, whatever our practice is, to be quieter, to remember that quiet space, that's going to make us wiser. It's going to make us more intelligent. It improves our style. It makes us capable of hearing what needs to be said in any given moment. The line in the Course, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? That's the prayer we ask every morning. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And if all of us, I believe this with all my heart, if all of us and anyone we can possibly be in contact with, if they can get this message from us, that if all of us just step it up a little, there are enough of us who are already at a point where we just need to step it up, just step it up a little. And if we can teach more and more people, which is what all of us do, how to embrace these principles and seek to live them, then we will endure these chaotic times. We will navigate these turbulent waters. We will get through to the other side. And each of us will have the satisfaction of knowing we did what we could. Thank you.
We are the ones we've been waiting for. This is it. And this is showtime. And you know what you're talking about, Marianne, I want to encourage everybody to join Marianne and her Course in Miracles, her morning practice. What I've observed with the people that I have the greatest respect for, they all have a practice. Yeah. And it might be playing a musical instrument. It might be a martial art form. It might be yoga, or it could be a religious orientation. Mm-hmm. But in these times, it's so important for us to have a practice. And you're providing for us, Marianne, with your daily mornings with Marianne, a practice that we can all come together. Just like we come together every Saturday night now for this show, we can all come together with mornings with Marianne. There she is with her slippers and her coffee cup. And so the way to register, and I want to talk to you about it for a moment, Marianne, but the way to register is to go to marianne.com, marianne.com, and you go down and then you just click and you can join. And we're going to talk about her podcast coming up in a moment as well. So really want to encourage you to join the daily lessons of A Course in Miracles. I've joined it. I'm loving it. And it's a really, really important piece. And those of us in our Zoom room, we do a little special Zoom room show. We actually spent 25 minutes getting to know a little bit more about the Course in Miracles project that she's doing. Marianne is very shy about promoting what she does, so I'm doing it for her. It's amazing the work that she does. Just as I was listening to the podcast of the preview, it was such a reminder of all these important things. And like she said, we kind of have heard it before. We know a lot of these things, but we need the practice every day to remember, every day to slow down, every day. And so you're providing us with a very, very important practice, Marianne.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah. I also just wanted to acknowledge, I heard you talk about Gerald Jampolsky and about Gerald Jampolsky. And
Jampolsky.
Yeah, and he just passed very, very recently, before you did that video, actually. And I know he was important in your life. He was very significant in my life and in the lives of so many of us. So a special moment just appreciating Jerry Jampolsky.
And if anybody ever got to the other realm on the other side and heard the voices of the angels say, "Job well done," it's Jerry Jampolsky.
Yeah, yeah. And he really was, I mean, that was his book, Love is Letting Go of Fear. And, you know, he taught it in such a powerful and profound way and did so much beautiful service for so long. So,
You know, my book, A Return to Love, I wrote it because of him.
really,
I had dinner with him one night in San Francisco. I was there to give a talk. It would have been in probably 1988. And he said to me, "You ought to write a book." And I said, I don't know how to get, I said, I don't feel pregnant with a book. I don't know how to write a book. And he said, "Well, it's in those little tapes. Remember, everybody, we had cassette tapes. Some of you don't remember, but some of you do." And I said, "I don't know how to get it from the cassette tape to a page." And he said to me, "Let's just agree in consciousness that there's someone out there who knows how to help you get it from the page, from the tapes onto the page. There's your manifestation. There's your angelic manifestation. Sometimes, as the Course in Miracles says, the Holy Spirit speaks to you through your brothers. And there's the manifestation. Just agree in consciousness. And the Course in Miracles says there's nothing more powerful than an agreement between two people." And that was on a Thursday night in San Francisco. 2 days later in LA, a man introduced himself as a literary agent, and I gave him my number, but either he didn't call or I didn't get the message. And then 5 days after that, 1 week to the night, after Jerry said, "Let's just agree in consciousness," 1 week to the night, I was in New York, and a man introduced himself as a literary agent, and I said, "I don't know how to get it from the tapes to the page." And he said, "I can help you." So that was what Jerry Jampolsky did for me, and what he's done for so many millions of people, I'm sure.
and there you have it. By joining Marianne in the mornings, by joining us all together, let's manifest together. Let's call upon the earth angels that we all are, because everyone, the hundreds of people in our Zoom room, the thousands watching on Facebook, and our broadcast partners, we all are earth angels. And we now are being called upon to come together and support each other and collaborate. Marianne, before I let you go, I want you to tell us about something else that you're doing. Tell us about the Reality and Relationship Seminar.
Well, the Course in Miracles says relationships are everything. Of course, the Course in Miracles actually says every situation is a relationship. The Course in Miracles says relationships are laboratories of the Holy Spirit. The Course says that all relationships are assignments, that everybody we meet, we were supposed to meet. Anyone we're supposed to meet, we will meet. And that souls are brought together. And I know I'm not saying anything here that everybody here doesn't already know. Once again, the Course just has its own way of saying it, that we are assigned to people with whom there is the maximal opportunity for soul growth, and with whom there is the greatest possibility for service. The problem, as we all know, is that the ego, which speaks first and speaks loudest, and is the dominant thought system of the world, is always tempting us to think the thought that will separate us from other people, keeping us in hell, which is the experience of suffering that the ego puts us through. So it's one of those areas, isn't it, where we all know this stuff. But the ego, you know, the Course in Miracles says the ego is like a heat-seeking missile, always trying to find some evidence of your brother's guilt. And also, just even in the lesson I was reading the other day, it says, mild annoyance is a cover for intense fury.
Oh.
So this, I know, it's like, I thought I was doing pretty good because I just gotten to mild annoyance, right? Yeah. So this getting to unconditional love thing is not easy. However, the Course in Miracles makes it very clear that in any moment, once again, where there is love, there are miracles. And where there is a closing of the heart, we deflect miracles. And of course, as I said before, you can have a grievance or a miracle. So reality of relationships, there's the reality of relationships, which is the ego's reality, full of suffering and anxiety and depression and loss and obsession and all that stuff. And then there's the reality with capital R of relationships, where we experience ourselves as one.
So it's a 2-day online webinar, February 12th and 13th. And that's a Friday and a Saturday, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. What, Friday night and probably all day Saturday?
Friday
That's
night and all
usually
day Saturday. Right, right.
in this Zoom reality that we all live in now.
Yeah. Well, Marianne, thank you so much for blessing us with your
Well,
presence.
thank you. And like I said, congratulations. I mean, this thing is really, it's wonderful. You can feel it. Thank you for holding this space and being here for all of us. You and Deborah, congratulations and thank you. And thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And I want to invite you, even if you're just listening, stick around for at least 10 minutes because you're about to experience something remarkable. This woman, Kristen Hoffman, what you have done for helping us in so many ways, you're about to have an amazing experience. Kristen Hoffman is a remarkable musical force and presence. We had her on the show just last week, and this is the first time we've ever had the same musician on 2 weeks in a row. But it was so powerful that several of us simultaneously burst into tears at the precise moment. To be very honest, I was kind of half listening and half taking care of business. And something happened at a certain moment and I burst into tears. And several other people also burst into tears because of her amazing capacity to channel spirit and connect. And so here we are talking about.
So, I hope you feel just a little bit of pressure. If I don't burst into tears, you.
I love it.
I better burst
no
into
pressure,
tears.
no pressure.
No pressure at all. No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure. I will not be. You won't see me, but I'll be.
So anyway, we invited Kristen to come back because there's no doubt this woman is connected to the angelic realm in her own unique, remarkable way. Kristen, thank you for coming back to be with us again. It's all yours.
Thank you. It's such an honor to be here. And Marianne, that was so inspiring and profound. And I felt all my cells and my whole being just lifting up. So infinite gratitude for your sharing.
Thank you.
I feel like music is truly one of the ways that we can listen deeply to that still small voice within. Throughout my life, music has served as a powerful guide again and again to just open up a portal in which I can listen on a deeper level and activate on a deeper level and connect to the angelic realms and connect to the potential of miracles. So we're going to go into a musical space which I call Solom, Songs of Light. And this piece has never been written. I like to think that we are co-creating this space of music. You all are sending your intention into the space, and I am going to be the vehicle through which the music comes through. And just as you're listening, allow yourself to be in that space, both listening to any messages that want to come through for you, and also just knowing that you're offering your spirit and your light and your love are literally being encoded into this musical moment. And just to prepare the space, I want to take 3 breaths together. It's one thing to just put on music, and it's another thing to prepare to receive and be present to music. Whole different thing. So I want to take 3 breaths. The first is going to be a breath to just release anything that you no longer need to carry. And then the second breath, we're going to invite. We're going to invite in the angelic realms, invite in your guides, whoever and whatever that energy is. Maybe it's light to you. Invite in that angelic light that helps to guide you and that just illuminates your spirit. And then the third breath, we are going to expand. I want you to envision yourself expanding your light and your love and open to that beautiful space where miracles are possible and where miracles can become manifest. Okay, so together, just get quiet for a second. Okay, breathing in. I want you to just sense if there's anything you've been holding on to, any stress, any tension, anything that no longer is serving your highest good. And release. And now inhale. Hold. And we're going to invite in the angelic realms, our guides, ancestors, light, spirit. Feeling the presence. And exhale. And with our third breath, breathe in. Hold and envision your light and your love and your whole energy force just expanding, expanding, expanding. Connecting with others and opening up that space, that potential for great miracles to be present now and here. And exhale. And may the music bathe your soul and bring you peace at this moment in time. remember you are loved. So much love, so much gratitude.
Thank you so much, Kristen. May we all just remember that we are love. And something I just want to share that comes forward is that we've experienced Marianne, who has the gift of the written word and the spoken word. Kristen, who has the gift of the voice and to bring spirit through. Just a reminder that Marianne and Kristen are sources of inspiration to remember that every one of us, every one of you listening, you have your own unique gift, your own gift from that which is. And may we use this inspiration from Kristen and from Marianne to own our gift, to own our precious role that we have to play at this precious time in this world. We are all the imaginal cells of the butterfly finding each other and coming together to create the new world, to create the new paradigm. And I want to thank Marianne, who's still with us. I'm going to bring her on for a quick second, for still being here. And thank you, Marianne and Kristen, for getting us off to such a remarkable start in this beautiful, beautiful show. Thank you.
Thank you. Such an honor to be here tonight.
And I sure want to encourage all of us, if you want to experience more Kristen Hoffman, go to her Bandcamp. It's Kristen, Kristin, Hoffman, Hoff, 2 Fs, man, MANN, 2 Ns, KristenHoffman.bandcamp.com. And that's how you can find, and she has a lot here. There's singles, there's albums. Kristen is very, very dedicated to our oceans, very dedicated to conserving our oceans. And so, God bless you. Thank you so much, Kristen.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
If you go back and you watch the video, there's a little angelic critter that landed on your arm, came all the way up while you continued to play, made its way to your keyboard and merged into the keyboard. It was,
I didn't know it had landed on my arm, but there was a point where I looked down and I'm like, oh, I call them like they look like little aliens. They're little bugs. I'm in upstate New York, deep in the woods, and there's these little bugs and they seem like little aliens and I love them. They're kind of like little angels. So just right as I was playing, boom, right on the tip of my finger, a little alien bug. And
it was perfect.
It was so sweet. It was perfect. A little living angel.
Thank you so much. God bless you, Kristen.
Okay.
All right. Well, to introduce our next amazing couple, here's Deborah.
Yes, what an incredible show. And it is going to continue that way. We are now bringing Shri and Kira all the way from Ecuador. And this is a sacred partnership that I've known for many, many years that has definitely been on the path of leading the planetary ascension and teaching us that path. The yoga of a self-ascension is something they teach as a non-dogmatic pathway paved with peace, love, and joy, opening the doorway to enlightenment. Wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka is a gifted psychotherapist, skilled medical intuitive, and Master Lady Kira was born highly clairvoyant. She was clinically dead of cancer and attracted her clairvoyant skills, and now she's widely acclaimed as one of the most profound archangelic oracle of our times. And that's how I know them. They connect so deeply with the angelic realm that is helping us now. And we're so happy to have you with us on this very special show. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, first, a big bow to everyone.
Yes.
What an extraordinary moment. And Kristen, I'm still vibrating.
Yes.
My hands were so illuminated, and all I felt was just this extraordinary presence. And then, so Kristen, wow, what a blessing. Thank you. I'm so honored that we have the blessing of being here in that frequency. And to Marianne, what an extraordinary moment. Deborah, we love you so much. You look as gorgeous as ever. OMG, girl. We've had the blessing of knowing Deborah, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how many years now. So what an honor. Thank you for this blessing. Sincerely. From our beautiful world, these are our beautiful compadres mountains and some of our beautiful rainbows. Shri and I have been on a walkabout. We have been on a 10-year walkabout because we have always said yes to the archangelic realm from the moment we met.
Absolutely.
And that was way back in 2003. And it was Archangel Zadkiel that actually brought us together and really brought us into the realm of joy very, very quickly. And we've had the blessing of living that now for publicly now, almost 20 years. So it's been an extraordinary journey.
And I remember it as if it was just now when Archangel Zadkiel spoke through Kira. The very first time I looked at her and I said, she's had a psychic break.
Well, he's a psychotherapist. So can you even imagine?
What is this? Her voice has changed. Her countenance has changed. My mind was running 1,000 miles.
Oh, and he was diagnosing me with every one of them.
And all of a sudden, after I got through that immediate density textbook reaction, I looked into her eyes and I melted, and the tears came down my cheeks, and I recognized the energy of the presence was so profound that I had lost all my words, and I found myself just bowing to this energy. And that, beloved ones, is indeed the purity and the energy of the archangelic realm.
Exactly. Like that music we just heard.
Yeah.
It comes to you in a frequency. There is, Marianne was talking about the truth earlier. Absolutely. Truth is truth. And when we are in the presence of truth and when we feel truth, we oftentimes thrive or dive. And because unless our own consciousness has expanded beyond the egoic presence, then we are unable to be in the presence of a consciousness of truth unless we're willing to say yes to who we are in the fullest experience of that. And as Shri and I have been blessed to just keep saying yes to the archangelic realm, we had no idea that when we consciously said, yes, we will go as we were called. When we left the United States in 2010, little did we know we would be living with the Highland Maya for 7 years, that we would now speak Kachikel, that we would be initiated into these realms, that we would be written into the Book of Days. This is what happens when we bow into the archangelic realm, when we say yes, when we let go of the ego of believing that competition is real, or believing that there isn't enough for everyone, or believing that for some reason separation exists. Beyond the borders of our perception of reality, our divine consciousness is screaming at all of us right now.
Yes.
Together we are better. And that is the reason this extraordinary experience that we're all having right now, that we are collectively co-creating, is manifesting in the way it is. And every time we say yes to the divine presence that we are, we begin the reverse aging process. We begin the process of the empowerment of our mastery presence, that divine enlightenment presence that says we are each commanding our divine presence now. We are contributors. And when we come together, what we contribute matters. And we know that.
Yes.
And this comes together with the miracle formula Archangel Zadkiel offered us so many years ago that we've had the blessing of living for a while now. And it's 3 simple things: sincerity plus love plus presence equals miracles as the law of instantaneous manifestation. It's when we love ourselves enough to have the compassion to pop out of the density illusion. Many call it the fifth dimension. And to really be able to be the active witnesser of the witness of this experience, to smile at the distractions, to see them from the greater side, the greater perspective, to expand our consciousness. That's the moment we're in. We are in a moment where everything is in front of you because everything is up leveling, including you. We are at that moment.
And one of the things that's so important to remember is the gateway to your enlightenment, the gateway to what people call ascension, and that what the body of teachings that have come through us, we refer to as the yoga of self-ascension. And I looked at Zadkiel one day and I said, well, talk to me about the higher self and the lower self. And this angelic being just laughed. He said, Sri Ramka, there is self. There is just self. And all of a sudden, you know, it's like I had the recognition that I was the one that imposed higher and lower. I was the one that had to figure it out, that had to make sense out of things so that my ego brain could feel satisfied at the end of the day. And what I began to learn through these angelic encounters and through the relaxing of my own ego is that you have within you, each and every one of us has within us all that's required. You are the galactic encyclopedia. You are the cosmic DNA. And Zadkiel said it beautifully one time, Sri Ramka, if it does not bring you joy, why are you doing it?
And so, you know, just really breathe that in, because there's so many ways that we can work with that, right? You know, there's so many ways. I remember early on, Sri and I were so ahead of our time in so many ways. And that was the way it was supposed to be. Not that we ever have a time, right? Isn't this all the perceived experience that we're putting together? But one of the things that's so beautiful in this moment is that you are here right now because the archangelic realm, the ascended realms of consciousness have said, and you have heard, remember, you took birth and you're still here because all of us together, we could sit in a room and share the most exquisite experience and weave together this lifetime. But you're here right now, not only because you're a master, but because you chose this very specific experience of this timeline, because consciousness is being invited to expand beyond itself into a new realm. That's the new world. And that's why the distractions are so big. When we can lift above them and own the truth of our divine mastery presence, then we are able to, as our beloved Einstein says, right? We are able to birth those levels, oh my goodness gracious, we're able to birth the solutions because the problem is being looked at from a different level of consciousness. And this is that moment right now where the energy of the moment is inviting you to go beyond. Can we just relax enough to come together just for this one moment because it's just the right thing to do? To put down our egos, to unify with all of our brethren and say yes.
Yes. And remember that there is a very simple practice that we want to gift to you right now that will assist you every day. It's as simple as 4 declarative lines. So
it's non-dogmatic, super easy.
So I invite you to check it out right now. Bring a hand to your heart, take a breath in, and just think along with me as I recite the mantra of self-ascension. I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me.
Sincerity, love, and presence, with a simple mantra reaching out to the universe, will return in so many ways that it will defy the mind. So simply release into the presence of you.
And your ascension happens automatically as the ego relaxes into the unconditional love of your soul.
This is the moment.
Yes. Enjoy yourselves, beloveds. And thank you, Deborah and Scott. We are so delighted to be able to share with you and this beautiful community.
From our Garden of Eden to yours, we are so blessed. And thank you for the blessing of this moment with all of you. What an honor to be here with all of you this evening.
Would you please lead the mantra slowly 2 more times so that everybody can do it together?
Yes, thank you for asking.
It would be our honor.
Our honor.
So as we breathe, hand on heart, I am here.
I am here.
I am ready.
I am ready.
I am open.
I am open.
Guide me. I am here.
I am here.
I am ready. I am open. Guide me.
You know, this being your first time on our show, and certainly I hope you'll be back again because what you're providing is so beautiful. But we definitely want to let people know how to get a lot more of your wonderful medicine. Tell us a little bit about onenesstalkradio.com.
OneNessTalkRadio.com is actually a radio station that was a vision from the archangelic realm. It's a collection of voices. It's 24/7 positivity, amazing music, fresh artists, well-known artists. All of our shows are, if there's a moment where you just want to feel better, go to OneNessTalkRadio.com, and there's always going to be something that will illuminate you.
Beautiful. And your retreat site, people actually can come there and have healing experiences, self-ascension, I noticed when I was looking at the website. So how do people contact you about the possibility of coming and visiting you in Ecuador?
Well, we even have people here right now. They're in your chat, and so we've just had 20 people here. We have 100% COVID guarantee, COVID-free guarantee, and they can TosaBlueMountain.com, just TOSA BlueMountain.com. We are also living in the valley where San Pedro grows as the Mother Earth she is, and so many people come here to also expand their consciousness and really move into a new level of being. Yeah, that's from our website right there. We are a 5-star retreat center, and please come join us.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. Look at how beautiful it is. So to learn more about it, go to TOSA, Tosa Blue Mountain, TOSA Blue Mountain.com. And see you all in Ecuador, yeah?
I hope so. We would look forward to having you here.
Give you a hug in person.
And again, just a deep bow to all of you, and to Deborah. Thank you. We love you so much. To all of you that are creating this beautiful show this evening. Scott, you are just amazing. We love you so much.
Oh, thank you. God bless you. Looking forward to a whole lot more connection with both of you. Thank you so much.
Look forward to it.
Thank
all
you.
our love. Thank you.
Many blessings.
What a beautiful evening with these incredible people like Sri and Kira, Kristen, Marianne. And I now get to actually introduce you, and those of you who are regulars, you already know Jay and Jan, but we're going to have actually a little bit of a chat. And so these are, I'm happy to say, my very dear friends, Jay Mayer and Jan Kaplan. And of course, Jay is the creator of Light Touch, and Jan and Jay have been doing Light Touch for 7 years together. And look, relationships are challenging, and they do a lot together. They work together, they live together, they're Light Touch practice partners together, they play music together, you know, and all of that, the domestic together. And they do that with so much love and so much smile because of Light Touch. So tell us a little bit about how Light Touch has kept you together for 7 years and blessed your relationship.
Well, before Light Touch, I never was successful in relationship. I would get hurt or somebody else would get hurt. And, you know, basically all my relationships were either like all the way up to the top. And then afterwards it was like, oh my God, you know, like, was it even worth it? And, you know, then when I discovered Light Touch, you know, in my relationships where we use the pleasurable sensations to invoke the angels and to evoke spiritual wellness. And it's worked like a charm. Whenever I have problems, if they ever do occur, then I give Scott a call and we're immediately well, because he's a master coach for anyone out there that doesn't know about the Love Coach Academy. But we're doing great, and we do a lot of Light Touch. We can lie around for 20 minutes in the morning, just go, thank you for miracles. Thank you for exponential financial blessings, anything you need.
Beautiful. Jan, what would you like to add about light touch and how it supports you, or how you've observed it supporting others?
Well, it's truly a miracle that we're together because we share a lot of blessings and we share a lot of time together. But I think it was Marianne that said, you're either blessing or you're blaming. And I think, we're either making that connection or else you're just, building your case and getting disconnected. So I think, if something comes up for us, hey, thank you for blessing Jay. And that sincerity, that Shri and Kira were talking about, it's really important to really bless each other with sincerity. So I think that's really helped us along the way, and sharing a spiritual practice and, together is also very important. So.
Yeah, again, like we talked about earlier with Marianne, it's so important for all of us to have a practice. And whether we do it by ourselves or do it with another person, having a practice is really important. Light touch is something that many of us do now twice a day. We all gather every morning at 8:30 in the morning and every evening at 7:30, and we all practice light touch together. Now, you had inspired this show all about the angels. So Jay, and feel free to share honestly about why you feel so connected to angels in the angelic realm.
Well, I needed all the help that I could get at one time in my life, and I was going, the wrong direction at full speed, for, what's called drug addiction, which is never really a good thing. And, in that state, at the bottom, I realized I needed to find a way out of this, and I wasn't sure if I could. And it's like, well, whatever works. So I did the opposite of everything that I was doing. And I used all the sensations to invoke miracles. And then I realized, well, the angels, I was just noticing more angelic interaction. And then I became aware of Archangel Camuel, who is the archangel of the third ray, which is divine love. So I call on Archangel Camuel a lot and ask for divine love into all my problems and situations, so-called problems. And yeah, it's great, it works.
Well, thank you for that honesty. And, I believe all of you, or many of you, are earth angels. I mean, clearly, Kristen Hoffman is an earth angel. And I think Jan is another earth angel. And I noticed that Deborah Haviland wrote that right after you started light touch and committed to light touch, Earth Angel Jan showed up in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, there it is. When we make a commitment to our Dharma and to what we really believe in, it shows up. The way Deborah Giusti and I have known each other for over 30 years, but the time was right. We had never really worked together. I'd done things at Harmony Festival, but then this came up and we came together. So, Jan, any last thoughts about angels in the angelic realm?
Well, we're all earth angels. Scott, you and Deborah are earth angels, and they're among us, and they're here. They're just, as Jay likes to say, they're just waiting to take our calls. So
Well, well, thank you. Well, I'm going to bring Earth Angel Deborah on here, and thank you both, and we'll see you a little bit later on in the show.
Thank you.
What a show, huh, Deborah?
Totally. Always amazing. But again, this is very special.
Yeah, it's a special night. So, we want to thank all of you for being with us. And we actually have a really, really lovely group of people in the Zoom room tonight. We have hundreds and hundreds in the Zoom room. We've got thousands watching on our broadcast partners. And we want to thank all of you who have registered. We really are building a beautiful global peace tribe. And I've already said it a couple times today. We are the ones we're waiting for. And we are the imaginal cells of the butterfly finding each other. And so a wonderful way, if you haven't registered yet, please, those of you out on Facebook land or in YouTube watching us, and those of you watching the replay, because about half the people who see the show actually watch one of the video replays. Please register so that we can send you emails, let you know. The only emails you're going to get are about our shows and our offerings. It includes the Monday morning, every Monday. Deborah sends out an email with the replay to the recent show and also to our previous shows. So it's really valuable. All you got to do is go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, register, and that way you're part of the tribe, and we can stay in close touch with you. So please, thank you, all of you who have done that, because clearly thousands of people have registered with us. And this is our new season. It just started last week, and we've got an amazing season lined up for you. And to tell you a little bit more about the season, Deborah.
Yes, it's so incredible to create these seasons for you. They come in inspiration. The angels tap us on the shoulder, and we work in high-level collaboration, and we've got incredible collaboration and sponsorship that comes in. So they really magically come together. Next week, we have on January 16th, we're going to be honoring Martin Luther King and his vision for community services. And we're going to be partnering with the Unity Church of Marin. January 23rd, our theme is A World in Transition, Building Resilient Communities and Hearts. And we're collaborating with Mystic Monastery. On January 30th, we are going to be doing our Indigenous Peoples show again, which we do every season, and understanding the reunification with Indigenous peoples. And that is sponsored and inspired with Light Touched and Jay Mayer. And Scott, do you want to tell them about our February shows?
I muted myself. On February 6th, Mark Sims is coming back. And I've been talking, both Deborah and I have been talking a lot to Mark this week. I'm meeting with him tomorrow, and he's got something very incredible he's going to share with everybody. On February 13th, in honor of Valentine's weekend, we have a remarkable group of people coming together, including Margot Anand, kind of a lot of the elders teaching about love, and a lot of the new generation teaching about love. On February 20th, Teresa Collins comes back. Once every season, Teresa does a show in collaboration with Global Coherence Pulse, and she brings in people like Greg Braden and Bruce Lipton. And February 27th, Jay is sponsoring another show. Again, every quarter we do a show all about health. And in fact, one of the speakers is going to be, was referred to me by Kristen Hoffman, and he's amazing. And we are already lining up some remarkable teachers all about the latest practices to optimize our health. And Deborah, you want to share about March?
March 6th is Feminine Leadership Changing Our World, and is that definitely happening now? And we want to highlight it and highlight the incredible feminine leaders who are coming forward and making a difference. On March 13th, it will be understanding and communicating with our animal family, because during the lockdown, I think we've all developed even more deeper relationship with our pet family, and there is so much more to know about communicating with them. March 20th, we always come together during the incredible portals, and we're going to be activating together the Spring Equinox Portal. And March 27th, special moments of SNA. And one thing I'd like to invite you to is to pay it forward. We have a special link where you can gift someone special in your life, or many people in your life, a registration. So I want to invite you, because word of mouth or gifting someone something like this is an incredible way to spread the light. And especially as you can see what's happening here tonight, this is really needed in the world. So think about who you want to gift a subscription to. And I'm going to post that link, that special link for the gift, in the chat room and on our Facebook. And you can just send it to them and they will get this special gift. It will show up as a gift in their email. So that's a special way to spread the light and spread this message. And so we appreciate you doing that. And I will post now.
Great. All right. Deborah, what's up next?
So now we've got more music. We always have music sprinkled throughout the whole show to continue to raise the vibration. And we have people from all over the world still. Fanny Starchild and Vigari are based out of Vancouver. They are musical entertainers, they are lovers of the earth, educators, workshop leaders, and they're artists who make caring for the world a good time. They play all the festivals, benefit events, Plaza of Nations, and have really gone around the world spreading their love through music. So we're happy to have them now. Fanny Starchild and Vigari. Welcome.
Thank you for having us tonight. We're truly honored and we feel blessed to feel your loving light. Thank you so much. And I am Starchild, this is Sweet Vigari.
And together we are called the Mystiques.
Here we are, let's play.
Vigari, can you raise the volume on her mic a little bit? She's a little soft.
Is that better?
Still soft.
Thank
We
you.
want to have the complete Fanny experience.
Oh, yes. Star children are all over me inside out.
Great. Thank you.
music in the world.
I'm so grateful to hear the music play the way that you're bringing it forward for us. Thank you so much. Fanny and Vergara are going to come back and play again later on tonight. But to learn more about them, go to starchild.ca, not com, but .ca. So it's StarChild, starchild.ca. And there's all sorts, you're going to learn all about Fanny and Vigari and the mystiques that they are. They've, of course, performed all over. And even though festivals aren't happening now, this is the new digital festival circuit that you're on. So it's great to have you with us. Thank you so very much. And we'll see you in a little while.
Thank you. Blessings.
Well, on a very magical night, we get to have some magic. We have a new magician with us tonight. As most of you know, we've been having magic quite often. And this evening, we have Justin Sight. And it's a most appropriate name because Justin is actually legally blind. And so we get to experience how a legally blind magician is going to work his magic. And helping him out tonight is going to be Jay Mayer. Take it away,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scott, Deborah, everyone. For me, it's really an honor and a dream to be able to perform my work in such a direct way, because the essence of my work is essentially using magic as a vehicle for spiritual awakening and using the art to illustrate certain metaphors and ideas that have the ability to create a sensation of awe in and of themselves. And adding the magic to it, I suppose, perhaps makes it doubly inspiring. At least it does for me. So thank you for helping me out, Jay. I'm going to move the camera down so you can see my hands, because this is where the magic is going to take place. Now, I know that this audience is probably quite familiar, more than most, about the staggering discoveries of quantum physics. And to me, I think most people would consider this as well, not just me, the most staggering discovery perhaps in modern science, and that is, of course, that nothing is unaffected by the observing consciousness. And as many of you know, until something is observed, perceived, or measured, regardless of whether it's a subatomic particle or a building, this is now being experimentally verified, it actually doesn't seem to exist as something in the way that we think of it. It seems to exist as a bunch of probable somethings. So I'm going to try to kind of illustrate that, because such knowledge, I feel, can be used in a practical way to manifest a new world. So let's try to do that with just a deck of cards here. Let me just give these a mix. And Jay, if you will, can you just say the word stop for me somewhere?
Stop.
Perfect. I can't have you physically pick a card, so we're just going to have to do it that way. And I am legally blind. It's a condition called Stargardt, so I probably wouldn't be able to see it on the screen. But just in case you guys don't believe me, I'm just going to kind of put my head down here, okay? Just let me know when you've seen the card, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. And I hope everyone was able to see that as well. Now we're going to lose it in the deck. It doesn't matter where it goes because I'm not going to try to find it. I'm going to actually try to do something totally different. Okay. This is a random card. Doesn't matter what it is. But I'm going to draw some stuff on it. Okay. And this actually represents all the possible cards that you could have chosen. Now, this is what the physicists might call the probability wave. And let's see. Does that look like anything to you, Jay?
No.
Just a bunch of dots and lines. This represents all the possible cards you could have chosen. Consider the possibility that relative to what we're speaking about, it's all the possible or probable timelines that humanity can experience. Now, we want to experience a particular timeline. This entire meeting is it's a gathering of intention to facilitate the manifestation of this particular timeline of peace, love, and unity. So let's just say that's what your card represents, the timeline of peace, love, unity, ascension. I want you to fervently visualize the name of that card. I want you to repeat the name of that card in your head over and over and over with all your heart, with all your intention, and focus on the field of probabilities. Now, as you do that, you'll notice there's an intimate connection between what you concentrate on fervently, what you act on, and what you begin to perceive or experience from the field of probabilities. Can you see that?
Wow.
What does that say?
Two of hearts.
Two of hearts. Was that your card?
That was it.
Beautiful. Two of hearts. And
wow.
What a poignant card. Indeed.
Wow.
Thank you so much, everyone. And I'll be back a little later.
Thank you.
Thank you. So much.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Justin ended a little faster than I was ready for. Justin is going to be back, but to learn more, I love this picture of him levitating in front of the computer, no doubt. And the computer is levitating too. We can learn more about Justin by going to Justin Sight Magic. Now that's spelled JUSTNSIGHT magic.com. Justin Sight magic.com. Justin's going to come back. He's going to do a little more magic for us. We're also going to learn about the movie that he's made. So I'm excited about that. Thank you, Justin.
Good.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. Thank you, Scott.
All right. And to introduce our next speaker, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. So now we're going to have some additional incredible spiritual guides and healers connected with the angelic realm. Sonja Grace is an award-winning author. She's a mystic healer. She's an energy surgeon. She works long distance with clients all around the world. She works on the physical body and she works with the emotional body, and she clears karma from past lives. And she's also featured on a lot of different programs: Gaia TV, Great Minds, Ancient Civilizations, Beyond Belief with George Norrie, Coast to Coast. Her new oracle, Odin and the Nine Realms, is available as well. So we're so happy to have you with us, Sonja. And please share with us your connection with the angelic realm, how you do your work, and your amazing healing abilities. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. You can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, Kristen, oh my God, you like Rolfed my heart. I'll never be the same. Thank you. That was so incredible. Oh my goodness, really.
Thank you so much.
Really, I don't know if you know what Rolfing is, but seriously, my heart got Rolfed. So I'm like completely changed now. And everybody who's presenting, I just love you guys. I mean, I'm exploding with heart, you know, like I'm all over the place here with heart. Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. You guys, everybody is just, it's wonderful to be here. And thank you for having me. I want to backtrack a little bit so you guys maybe know a little bit more about me, what I do. I was born this way. I was born being able to see, hear, smell, feel, and weirdly taste everything in the spirit realm. So all sensory systems were on, and I had a crazy childhood. Believe me, I was watching stuff walk through my bedroom. I was 2 years old in the crib, and my guides, who are high angelic beings, were rolling the crib across the floor. I mean, back in those days, seriously, the cribs, you could not move them. So wild things happened to me. My mom, bless her heart, put me into ballet school. I trained as a classical ballerina. I was with the Oregon Shakespeare Festival for 10 seasons. I danced with various regional ballet companies, and I cannot thank my mom enough for that, because it taught me about time and space. It taught me how to defy time and space. And it gave me the opportunity to actually learn how to do 12 turns to 8 counts, or to do 20 turns to 8 counts. And so in this practice of doing time and space, I learned to basically go beyond time and space. So my experience when I work with people all over the world is I do not experience time and space like most people. I put myself in front of my clients and I work on them. I am an energy surgeon. I repair hearts. I do the equivalency of triple bypass surgeries. I work on livers and spleens and pancreas and prostate and blood and bones and cancers. And, you know, it's like all day long. I start at 8 o'clock in the morning and I don't get done until 8 o'clock at night. And I'm usually toast. But I turned my life over to being in service years ago. And, you know, when I did that, I asked God, Creator, I said, okay, I'm in service now. You told me you wanted me to be around the world. Do I get a plane ticket or do I get a pair of shoes? You know, because if I'm walking, I got to have at least some shoes. And anyway, so here I am now all over the world. My experience with all of this time travel that I do every day, because seriously, at, 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm working on somebody clear across the globe, and then I'm working on someone in LA. And by the way, I'm in Arizona, and I saw somebody say hi from the chat room from Prescott. I'm just down the road from you, so I wanted to say hi. I'm about an hour and a half south of the Grand Canyon, so I consider the Grand Canyon my backyard. And I'm very, you guys, I address the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies when I work, and I always work with angels. The angelic realm is the only beings that I call in when I work, because they are absolutely benevolent beings. I wrote the book, Become an Earth Angel, all you Earth Angels out there with me. And you should check the book out, because I talk about the angels. They took me into the angelic realm, and I got to experience on many occasions being with the angels in that space. And it's profound. It is the only energy that I work with when I'm doing healing work on people. I had a woman the other day who contacted me. Her mother's in New Zealand, and she sent me a message and said, I need an emergency appointment. My mother was diagnosed with a tumor in her sinus, and she's getting a surgery in about 3 days. So I went in, and literally an emergency appointment's like 20 minutes, and I took that tumor out, me in Arizona, her in New Zealand. and restructured all the tissue, did my thing, and she went in for surgery. The daughter wrote me that afternoon and said, the doctor who diagnosed her with a tumor just came out of the operating room and said there was no tumor, there was nothing. So I experience these miracles. I am, I'm really grateful. I'm humbled. I'm, every day I'm head down, do the work. And that is really my motto. If you follow me on social media, I'm all about hashtag do the work, because with every physical illness, there is an emotional component to that illness. And we must be able to go in and excavate what those emotional wounds are. And there are layers to the emotional wounds. So this process of doing the work is a lifetime of work. And having been a dancer my whole life, it's like we're in rehearsal, and we get to do that piece over and over again, rehearsing it, falling down, making mistakes, cracking up in the middle of a serious rehearsal. And that's our lives. The finale, the grand finale, the show that you do is your death. That's the huge finale that we all get to make, that passage that's so incredible. And having had the angels show me this, the angelic realm, and I have conversations with God all the time, and it's incredible. I mean, I feel like if we can see, and I know many of you do, how thin the veil is between the angelic realm and our realm, it's like nothing. Like, okay, I'm here, I'm there. So other miracles that I experience often are through the physical healings that I am a part of. I had a guy whose wife contacted me. He's in LA, and he was told that he had to go into open heart surgery, that there were 2 blocked arteries and a valve that needed to be replaced. And she called me. She said, you got to work on him before he goes in for his surgery. And I did. And I repaired the valve, and I basically put stents in, and they opened him up and closed him up and said, there's nothing wrong with you. And I got an email from him. I love you, Sonja. That was great. So I'm so happy to share this with you guys, because I don't often get to talk about my work and some of the things that happen where people are actually experiencing miracles. And one of the best miracles, the most dear to my heart, is when I contact, a person that I'm talking to on the phone with a loved one, and they're able to share from the other side what's going on. And this one woman, she called me and she said, my dad died, and we always promised each other that we would try to make contact. And so I got him, and he was standing right there, and he said the most profound thing. I have carried this with me my whole life. He said to her, honey, I did go through a tunnel of light, and I did sit in front of God and have that conversation that we talked about, that maybe we would have, the review of your life. And he said, the thing that wasn't what I was expecting is it wasn't about what I had done in my life. It wasn't about all the accolades, and I was a doctor, and I had 3 houses and blah, 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 all this stuff. He said it was about how much I loved. And he said, I loved you and your mom and your brother, but he says, I needed to love everyone around the world as much as I love you and your brother and your mother. And it really, that just really said it all to me. It was like, I feel that is truly our mission here as humans, to love at the deepest level of our being, and that our purpose here on the planet is to take care of this beautiful planet, She is our responsibility while we're here. And, you know, all this other stuff that we all love to pursue, spiritualism and different ways, meditation and calling in the angels and all that we love to do. Yes, we should be doing that every day. I started what's called the Meditation Peace Project, and I'm doing a 1-hour free meditation every month just to bring people around the world together, sit in peace. And that is so important to me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate being able to do that. Thanks, you guys. Thank you so much.
So much. It's beautiful to meet you, Sonja, and for people to learn more about all that you're doing, because there's a lot. Tell us about your website. I see Sonja Grace, and she spells it Sonja, sonjagrace.com. And tell us a little bit about your books here.
Well, I just came out with Odin in the Nine Realms, which is an incredible oracle about the Norse gods, and it's all about Norse mythology. Become an earth angel. Of course, we're talking about that right now. And I also have Dancing with Raven and Bear. These are stories that I wrote and, you know, basically channeled. Excuse me. Excuse me. And the book is a wonderful collection of stories. There's my timer.
There it is. There's a lot happening. Sonja, thank you so much. And thank you for all the people that you've helped.
Oh, yes.
All the healing you do, all the remote healing.
Thank you.
Seeing that people, you know, in our chat box are like, oh my gosh, can she help? So thank you very, very much, Sonja, for your beautiful service to the world.
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hope to have you again. Take care. Thank you so much. All right. You know, more and more we're showing some videos. I want to acknowledge that Jay Mayer creates some really wonderful and fun videos for us. And here we are. We're talking about angels and gratitude and prayer. And here's a special video that Jay made just for tonight. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Light Touch. And thank you, Angels, for what's just such a beautiful show so far. We are about to bring on someone who's been on our show before. She's one of our favorite speakers. And I'm talking, of course, about Meg Benedicte. And Meg is going to, of course, share about the angels, but we're also going to learn a little bit about her brand new academy that she started. So that's pretty cool. But let me tell you, those of you who don't know Meg, she's been working with Archangel Metatron for a very long time. He has helped her gradually move through the various stages of ascension, increasing her energy frequency, and then teaching how to heal core wounds, transmuting the ego and controlling it, and all the while increasing more soul embodiment. And so it's from her own personal experience and the patient guiding wisdom of our angels, in her case, Metatron, that Meg has developed this unique healing modality called quantum access. And it's a way that we can access our own personal ascension. And again, you know, her story, she went from being kind of a corporate businesswoman to a true leader in our planetary awakening. So welcome, Meg, and thanks for coming back on the show tonight.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Deborah, for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure to join you. And what a show. Oh my God. All the other previous speakers and the music has shot me up into the celestial realm. And I'm like, okay, now I have to speak. How do I do this? But it's been off the charts amazing. I am just thrilled to be sharing this with all of you. And so as Scott mentioned, I am going to focus on Metatron, Archangel Metatron. I have a very special relationship with Metatron. I had a very shocking, spontaneous activation and awakening in the January 1994 earthquake in Northridge, California. And so this has been, well, we're at 27 years now when it started. It's very immediate that I began to, it's kind of like the veils just went poof, and I began to see the angels around me. But the first, I've been having several direct visitations from Metatron, and then of course on more of the etheric realms, always kind of standing there and helping me and guiding me and pointing me in the right direction. So, but the first visitation from Metatron, it always comes in the middle of the night. I don't know, maybe it helps me to be able to see all the light show up in the room, but I woke up and he's standing at the end of the bed and illuminating the room and said to me in the most profound frequency I've ever felt that the answer to everything is love. And at that point, this was, over 25 years ago, I couldn't comprehend. I was in so much pain and disconnection myself and struggle. And it was just, at first, I think I even got angry. I'm like, that's the answer to everything is love. What the heck does that mean? And so I had to come from that point to over many, many years of healing and doing my own work and gradually moving through this process to be able to understand exactly what Metatron was talking about and to get my heart healed and open so I could actually fill with love, radiate love, share love, and use that energy to help me ascend, as we're talking, into higher dimensional access. And so this we're talking about on the planet right now, we're all going through this process of filling our hearts with love vibrations so we can move into the fifth dimensional access. So I put together a couple little slides, Scott, that I thought I'd pull on. Since Metatron has brought us a gift, since the focus of the show is not only how the angelic realm is supporting us, they are pure love, they're pure light, they are like the right hand beings of the divine monad to help us, to guide us through this process. But Metatron in particularly has gifted us a powerful tool that we can use to apply to our own evolution and ascension. So that's what I wanted, since it is a geometry. I thought, well, let me put together a couple little charts here to show you. So I'm very visual, so this kind of helps me too. So Metatron, if you are new to Metatron, he is the highest archangel mentioned in the Kabbalah, and he collaborates with the Council of 12 Tribes of the root races. And he stands at the side of the divine monad. He oversees the creation of the universe. He's what we call the master alchemist. And he also holds the keys to the galactic halls of Amente. And this is the living library of all the incarnated souls in this universe. This is where our Akashics are stored. And this is where our soul lineage is, and our soul contracts and all of it. And I would have these hours where we would go into trance, and he would take me into the halls of Amente so that I would be able to understand how things are operating and how we can, with his support and his guidance, to go in and heal and mend past karmic incarnations and be able to start to understand more of our soul blueprint, our soul purpose in life. And so this Metatron oversees all of this. He also mentioned in the book of Enoch, if you read that book by J.J. Hurtak, he calls him the celestial scribe and purveyor of conscious intelligence. I have experience in going into other timelines where Metatron was Enoch. In the Bible, he was Thoth in the ancient mysticism, and I've also experienced him as Merlin in the Druid tradition. So Metatron is, in a way, the one archangel who embodies in a physical incarnation. He comes in, he's able to shapeshift energies, he's able to pop in, and he's able to not only guide us from the celestial realm, but also to influence the world as a human incarnation as well. As I mentioned, upon my spiritual awakening, he started visiting me, and the first visitation I mentioned to you, the second one was pretty profound because I woke up in the middle of the night and I felt someone sit on the bed next to me. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? You know, I froze in panic, and then of course felt his frequencies and saw his light. And he reached over and he placed his hand on my third eye and on my heart center and activated them so that I would be able to open up my own light body and my more of my own psychic ability and heal that heart, so I could understand what he was talking about as far as this love vibration that we're here to embody and we're here to share and we're here to bring to the planet as well. And so he teaches the principles of alchemy, and he encourages the integration and the union of spirituality and science, metaphysics and physics. This is where he's like bringing these different realms together in our holographic universe so that we're able to apply them in our own lives. Now, the gift that Metatron has brought to us, if you've never encountered it or heard of it, it's called the sacred symbol of Metatron's cube. And this is the image of it. And it depicts a container or template of creational geometry and the electromagnetic nature of Genesis in our universe. In its simplest form, as you can see, it's constructed of 12 circles centered around a 13th circle. Got the outer 6, the inner 6, and then the center circle. And those 12 circles connect to all 12 dimensions of our universe. This actually, when you work with it, opens up your access to all 12 dimensions, as well as all 12 strands of DNA. So this is, again, a creational template beyond anything I feel we can really even imagine. But as we start to work with it, it begins kind of opening up our memory of how we can work as alchemists ourselves. Also embedded in Metatron's cube are the 5 platonic solids. And if you look real closely, you'll see the star tetrahedron, which is called the Merkaba from the Book of Enoch. And this, again, acts as this organizational structure of molecules and multidimensional access. When you work with Metatron's cube, the star tetrahedron Merkaba begins to rise up and to activate in your field. Metatron's cube also activates the quantum vortex. And as you see in this image, if you are standing in the center of that, that begins to create a vortex momentum around your field. So we're able to actually unlock time compression. This is the problem that we've all been in this polarized world of time. It begins to reverse that, begins to unlock it. It also begins to open up your field and unlock particle density so we can actually get in and we can begin to start to change things up, recode ourselves, repattern ourselves, clear trauma, clear density. It activates, as I mentioned, the Merkaba torus around your body in your field. And when you are in this spiraling momentum of the quantum vortex, it's actually increasing your energy frequency, right? You're going into a faster oscillation rate. So everything starts to rise. This is where we actually can begin to embody these celestial frequencies. And as you use it daily, it starts to transform not only your physical body, but your energy field as well. And so you're clearing out the polarization, clearing out the density, and working on upgrading your DNA so that you actually become this sacred vessel for the soul to descend down and in. This quantum vortex, it is a universal tool that we all can use for evolutionary ascension. So it's not only accelerating our ascension, but it's giving us the tool that we can use to kind of spin stuff out, pull soul in. It's really effective. It's very fast. And you start getting used to living in a powerful anti-clockwise spin momentum. You begin to sync up with the nature kingdom. You begin to sync up with even the spin momentum of our planet, which is anti-clockwise. You begin to spin up and connect to our solar sun, our galactic sun, our great central sun. Everything is helping you get back into a rhythm that we have been disconnected from. And so this whole process is helping you literally be the alchemist of yourself. You are applying the gift of Metatron, our beloved Metatron, in Metatron's cube to, in a sense, reverse the damage that's been done by living in a very polarized, stuck, linear time planetary field. As we break loose of that, we unlock the constriction on our own field. It allows everything to start to evolve very quickly. Your dormant multidimensional DNA, your soul DNA, your soul blueprint can begin to activate, and you begin to open up your chakra channel. This is your channel up to your higher self, up to spirit, up to the angelic realm. And you begin to become this open receiver, receiving in the guidance, receiving in the transmissions, becoming a crystalline light body that's living as a physical divine human. We are opening and expanding our consciousness so fast, so quickly, so multidimensionally, that we're beginning to access the fifth dimensional field that is of unity consciousness. And so this is a whole new different way for us to live. Think about it, you're moving from polarity, which is this dual opposing force, and we're rising beyond that and living from the heart vibration, the love vibration, and living in unity consciousness, where we actually can perceive that we're all interconnected. We're all part of this grand unified field. We all have light moving through all of us, and we're all able to take care of each other in a way that we've not been able to do before. And this is the radical shift that's happening on our planet. We see the old system collapsing right now, but we have truly moved into a new era. And especially even since the solstice and the grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn moving into Aquarius, we are literally activating the Aquarian age, where we start to live in unity consciousness. And so this is my thrill to share this with all of you and introduce it to you and give you a little slice of the magic of Metatron.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Meg. And you've got something really significant happening next week. You are launching your own Quantum Access Academy. Next week, it's happening, the launch party. Tell us about it.
Well, this is years in the making. And so I started teaching how to use Metatron's Cube, over 10 years ago, but it really felt like it was about a year and a half ago. I went to Glastonbury and Stonehenge and had a lot of downloads, and I came back and I was working in Mount Shasta, did a big global ley line activation in Mount Shasta in July a year ago. And this is where it all started coming in. So I've been, in a way, the quarantine kind of helped me just write. So creating a lot of new courses. These are self-study courses for you, and also a practitioner certification course as well to teach practitioners to use this quantum access technique in their healing practice. So it's coming together, and the launch party is next Saturday, and you're all invited. It's free. You can sign up at megbenedicte.com. We're going to walk through what's available at the Academy. And I also started a new charity that is to sponsor scholarship fund for students who really want to, apply this in their ascension. And Also, we are going to be doing a live activation in that launch party so you can get a real feel of how this works for you. So I'd love to see you there.
Fabulous. And people can get information about the Academy, her podcasts, her book by going to megbenedicte.com.
If you scroll down a little bit too, you'll see where the sign up is for the launch party.
Perfect. There it is. Right.
There it is.
Signing up for your newsletter and for the launch party. So definitely register. And it's Meg Benedicte, spelled BENEDICTE.com. And as always, Deborah does a wonderful job of making sure that we have all of the links put into our Zoom room and into some of the Facebook pages that we have quick access to. So, Meg, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. What an amazing show. I love you all. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye. And good luck with your launch.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. Oh, there's still Meg. Wow. We got something else for y'all. Here we go. We want to thank all of our broadcast partners that are helping us to reach tens of thousands of people with every one of our shows. And that definitely starts with Unify. Right now, so many of you are watching us via Facebook on Unify. So thank you. We really want to thank John and Summer Raymer and the Sign Network, which helps get us out to hundreds of Facebook groups and pages. And of course, we want to thank Jay Mayer and Light Touch. Our primary sponsor, Jay is our executive producer. A lot of you are watching us on New Reality's YouTube channel. That's Alan Steinfeld, long-term buddy of mine. And of course, we originate on Love Coach Academy. That's my organization. And check out Love Coach Academy and all the different shows we provide free of charge all week long. Finally, we want to thank our other broadcast partners, starting with Humanity's team, and also appreciating Earth Dance Global, Portal to Ascension, the Disclosure Fest, Global Days of Unity, Earth Walk, and New Earth One. Thank you, everybody. And here with more announcements is Deborah.
And I just want to thank you all so much for your donations when you register. It's so important to us because it's a lot to put on the show every Saturday night. So all your green love that comes in really helps us up-level the quality of the show and bring in other people that can help us do that. So I want to thank you for that. And those that do donate over $75, we invite you to our supporters party that we have every season, which is really fun. We have some keynote speakers, some great musicians, and a way to interact with each other as part of the Global Peace Tribe. So it's really fun. And if you are not able to donate, but you still want to be part of the party and help us, we're definitely open to that because it really takes a village to do this. And so we have a form I'm going to post in the chat room, which is our volunteer form, where you could help us promote, you can help us do watch parties, or maybe some of your other skills will help us grow this and continue to evolve this. So I'm going to post that in the chat room. And also, I'm also going to post in the chat room our GoFundMe. This week again, we'd love your green love. We're going to use it to build our organization and produce all these 13 shows that we have for you, and also develop our part of our business that donates to valuable nonprofit organizations and people that are victims of accidents or all the fires. Last year, we generated from your green love $65,000 that we gave out to organizations and people. It was amazing, but it does take a lot to coordinate all that, to communicate, and we need to hire some people to be able to do that for this next season. So I'm going to post our GoFundMe in the chat room so you can help us create this new season and do it at a whole nother level for you again this year. And again, we appreciate you so much.
I want to just really let everybody know that as amazing as each show is, it's like each show, it's like, wow, that's amazing. And there's another one coming. And I want to really briefly invite everybody to make sure you join us next weekend. Now, we always have a great keynote speaker or two or three. Tonight, obviously, we had Marianne as our keynote. Next week, our keynote speaker is Dr. Martin Luther King. We found a very special video that's not as commonly seen about Dr. King, and we've built an entire show around that. And it's going to be a beautiful show. We, once again, will bring back our friends Pato Banton and Antoinette Hall, Oshala D, who's a dear friend of mine, and some amazing musicians, including Nina Gray, who you've seen on the show before, and also introducing a new star, Jenya Carter. Our friends John and Summer Raymer are going to be collaborating with us. They're doing a 4-day Martin Luther King weekend series of events, and we're all collaborating. So please, please, please plan on joining us next Saturday night for a special edition of Saturday Night Live that's dedicated to Martin Luther King.
Because it is his birthday that weekend.
That's right. Thank you. And it's Martin Luther King holiday and weekend. All right. Well, as you know, we love music. And we have a gentleman with us tonight. This is his first time on our show. And we're really delighted to have, this is Yuval Ron. And he is very, very special. He composed the songs and the score for the Oscar-winning film West Bank Story. He's led peace mission tours worldwide with his own Yuval Ron Ensemble. And he's collaborated with the Sufi leaders, Zen priests. He has a very wide background. And as you're going to see, has a wonderful way of combining spiritual understanding, stories with his music. So Yuval, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for having me. In a few minutes, I will share with you a beautiful legend from the Sufi tradition and some Sufi music. And this legend explains the deep connection that our soul has with music and dance. And it's something that has to do with angels. And that's why I will share it tonight with some Sufi music. But before that, I'd like to invite all of you to participate and to go into a deep experiential meditation that comes from the Jewish mystical Kabbalistic tradition of Judaism. And there's a special prayer in this mystical tradition for receiving blessings from 4 angels. And the first angel is the angel of light. So when I play the first part of this prayer, this traditional prayer for receiving these blessings, we greet the first angel for peace. And we ask for blessing. And the first angel brings the blessing of light. So I'd like you to close your eyes when I start playing the music and imagine the first angel giving you the blessing of light. The second angel brings the blessing of strength, of heroic resilience. And the third one brings a blessing of awareness of our special, unique divine spark, because each one of us has a divine spark, but each spark is slightly different. Each one of us has a unique spark. And so the third blessing is to be aware of what kind of unique spark, divine spark we have. And the fourth and last blessing is a blessing for healing. So I invite you to close your eyes and imagine those 4 angels coming to you and giving you those 4 blessings. long, long before we were born. Each one of us existed as a soul. And our souls lived up in a higher realm of angels. Each soul was purely an energetic being called an angel. And all the angels, all day long, day and night, all they did and all they do is dance and sing. They don't have a body, no physical body, but a body of energy that keep moving with music and dance. And often they dance and they dance, and you know what happened when you dance all day and all night. Have you ever tried that? Yes. You get into ecstasy, sacred ecstasy. So the angels, since they dance and sing all day and all night, all the time, they're in constant ecstasy, sacred ecstasy. But when each one of us was born, just before we were born, there was an angel up there that was called to come out of the dance. He or she were pulled out by incredible magic, subtle and powerful magic, was pulling an angel out of that dance and music. And that one angel was brought down to earth to become the soul of you and I, and each one of us. And so when we hear music, and when we dance, our soul hears the music and feels the dance that we do here in this world, and remembering the dance and the singing that very soul did back in the old times as an angel.
Wow. Wow. It was really, really fun. Oh, thank you, Yuval. Thank you.
Welcome. I hope your souls were dancing and feeling the connection with all what we've been talking about. All this evening, we've been talking about it. And I hope that now you could feel it, not through our intellect, because we heard a lot of very deep things. We heard a lot of interesting information. We got a lot of intellectual landmarks and help. But through music and dance, we can go beyond the intellect. We can sense the things that are mystical, that are beyond what we see.
Yes. Thank you. And I love how you do weave together your beautiful story, and you invite us to really feel it. And I want to share for a moment, my wife passed away about 9 years ago. And when you talked about, she always loved ecstatic states and loved to dance. So just picturing her as that angel who's dancing and dancing and dancing ecstatically. And it gave me a beautiful image of her. So thank you for that.
Yes.
We can learn a lot more about Yuval Ron. He's got albums, he has lectures, webinars, books, and here it is. So Yuval, tell us a little bit about what people find when they go to your website.
Yes, there are lots of music because I'm a composer and musician and record producers. These are two of my latest albums. The Four Divine States of Mind is based on Buddhist teachings of the higher virtues of love, kindness, compassion, vicarious joy, and equanimity. And then the one called Unity of the Heart. This is an album of my ensemble, which is based on peace mission work with the mystical music of the Middle East. And on the top right, there are two images from my webinars. And there are recordings of my classes where I teach chanting and sound meditations and mystical teachings. And it's available. And also my book, Divine Attunement. It's a book full of stories that I tell and also essays. And this book in 2014 won the gold medal for best book in the spirituality category in the Indie Books Award in New York City. It's a national competition. So you're invited to check it out.
And here's his website, and it's Yuval, spelled Y-U-V-A-L, Ron, R-O-N, music.com. And that's where you'll find a lot of wonderful, magical things. And Yuval, thank you so much for blessing us with your presence on tonight's show.
Thank you very much, Scott. I really appreciate that you and Deborah put together all these beautiful people and creating a community and helping people. So,
well, thank you. It is a beautiful community that we all are blessed to be a part of.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we move on. Light touch is a wonderful way to bring both emotional and physical intimacy into our relationships. Light touch is also a wonderful way for us to attract or magnetize what we are wanting. Most of all, light touch can be done just by yourself. Here are some examples of Trish using light touch throughout her day.
Thank you for transforming my relationships. Thank you for the most divine relationship. Thank you for spiritual wellness. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's all remember to practice light touch. And as we've talked about, we really do practice light touch. Several of us do this every morning and every evening. And there's Jan doing light touch right now, right? I really, seriously, I just happened to look. There she is. She's doing light touch right now. Oh, there's Jay. He's doing light touch also. So it's real. And hey, there's something else that we want to communicate to all of you. That's right. We have got an amazing way that we're going to close out this show. Now, it's going to be a long show. We're going to be here for a little while. So, go make some tea or take, a healthy, smart drink because we still have some amazing speakers. We've got more Fanny and Justin coming back. And then we've got an amazing interview with Stuart Pierce. Deborah and I did it yesterday, and he is really, really special. So stick around for that. And now to continue on, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. So I get to introduce another amazing woman. Caroline Corey is an award-winning filmmaker. She's a futurist, a visionary author of best-selling books on the topics of conscious and energy medicine, topping the charts. And she also continues to lecture and coach internationally on various mind over matter subjects. And she's also a regular guest expert on shows. And her latest film is called Among Us and has won 9 film awards and 2 nominations at various film festivals. So thank you so much, Caroline, for coming on this amazing show that we have tonight and sharing your wisdom and viewpoint on this subject of the angelic realms and the unseen world.
Thanks so much for having me. Thanks so much, Scott, Deborah, Jan. This is so awesome. I love discovering everyone, you know. I think it's the energies coming together that makes this show very, very special. So thanks for including me today. You know, my latest film is actually Superhuman. Among Us is the one before this one. So it is very, very special. It's superhuman, the invisible made visible. How appropriate, right? To me, this film is the ultimate demonstration, even proof that we have powers beyond what we could even ever imagine. And it's kind of funny for me when we talk about miracles. I think we are so programmed to think that we are incapable of manifesting our reality the way we really wanted, that when it does happen, we call it a miracle. And I feel that we need to change that a little bit. We need to start feeling and saying and being the miracle, living the miracle as if it's our birthright, you know, to manifest these things, to think and it happens. And so what I've done in this film, Superhuman, the invisible made visible, is not only talk about the power of our consciousness over our physical reality and our physical body, and how we can think and literally see things manifest. But I've been able to demonstrate on camera. I wanted to take it that extra step in a film format and show through scientific experiments live on camera how the mind, our consciousness can literally change the pH in water, for example, change the pattern of the DNA, the electricity going through our DNA. How what we call, for example, remote viewing, how does it really work? And so I took all of these psi phenomena that appear to be miraculous, that appear to be psychic or difficult to accomplish, and brought them on camera with a scientific setting. And so you will be able to see how we set up a scientific experiment, you know, how we create a baseline. And then when we focus our consciousness, we see the measurable effect of the consciousness on that physical object or biological system. We've also demonstrated on camera telekinesis, how you're able to move an object with your mind, not only at close proximity, but even under a vacuum and also long distance. So this is, I mean, I think this is mind blowing, but not until you see the last part, which is absolutely crazy mind blowing. And if that is not a demonstration of miracle, I don't know what is. I mean, I encountered children a few years ago that were able to see completely blindfolded. And so, of course, I've investigated the phenomenon myself. I've tried it. In fact, I taught it myself. And it's unbelievable how you get to see firsthand that when you change your perception of the physical world, the interaction between consciousness and the physical world you are able to literally see without your eyes. And even blind people are able to see again using these methodologies. And so in the movie, we take all kinds of people from all around the world, and we demonstrate again how they're doing it, how this is possible. So because of that, I feel this movie brings a lot of hope. It's not, we take it from speaking and thinking and theorizing to demonstrating and proving that this is possible. Our thought, our belief has a measurable effect on the physical world. And so I really urge everyone to watch the film. It's on Amazon Prime. So if you have the subscription, it's free. And even if you don't, it's such a small investment. It is packed with very powerful information. And speaking of vibration, you know, it's not just intellectual, like Yuval was saying, it's not just intellectual scientific information. Because you get to witness people from different ages, different age group, different cultures, different background, religious background, doing these things, being these things, you kind of get empowered. And then that's exactly what happened when we were filming. The crew, for example, we would invite somebody who had never ever done telekinesis before, moving a physical object, and we would teach them, you know, in 2 hours we would teach them how to do it. Now don't forget, we're making a film, so we have cameras, 6 cameras, we have lighting equipment, cables, all kinds of electromagnetic interference. It's really not the best setting to focus and concentrate and do something like that. And yet we were speaking of miracle and speaking of angels. What we would do before we shoot the film, I would set the energy of the space. I would ask everybody, the crew members, the camera people, whether they believed it or not, I would say, we need to create this space because we have to, we can't film this, you know, over several days. We gotta like have this manifest on camera when we want it. So we would do what I call a connecting to source meditation to help everybody kind of relax and quiet, let go of the human mind, focus. We bring in the angelic realm, and which is our connection to the higher vibration and to the source energy. And I'm telling you, as soon as we would shift to that place, things would happen spontaneously, so quickly. And so that's the reason why I feel very strongly about this film, to help us all. We're all saying and wanting the world to hear us, to say that we are capable of all these miracles. We are these miracles. And so I feel like this is finally a demonstration of everything we've been working towards.
Caroline, we've got the trailer, and I'm going to play it. Yeah. So,
awesome. Yes.
Yeah, here we go. Here's the trailer, then we'll talk to you right after.
Because the energy is all around us, you can communicate with all types of different things.
Well, what we do here is collect intelligence against foreign threats using a parapsychology discipline called remote viewing. We essentially wanted to invite you to become a psychic spy.
We know our own CIA had been experimenting in psychic tests and abilities.
The Israelis had an interest in it and may still. We know for a fact that the Russians were involved in this. We know for a fact that the Chinese were and are probably still involved.
Something's happening that's bigger than us.
Oh my gosh, this is blowing my mind. Like, this is insane.
We are pieces of consciousness playing avatars in a virtual reality game called This Physical World.
This is Captain Corey of the USS Red Recorder, leaving a message that may be detected in other universes.
The rain was tapping, and the windows and the wind was banging.
So we sort of come to this world, and I guess in our materialistic sense, we want to forget about vibrations. We just want to think of matter and stuff.
That's a whole unit. That's a large effect. The fact that you can change the acid-alkaline balance in water implies that you could change it in the body.
This is what this is about. Mind over matter.
Wow. That's really exciting, Caroline. Really exciting. Wow. All right, so how do people get the film?
Yeah, so they can watch it on Amazon Prime right now, but also they can go to superhumanfilm.com.
Superhumanfilm.com.
Yeah, www.superhumanfilm.com, and they can click on watch the film and they'll see all the other platforms as well. But Amazon Prime is great. And if you have seen the movie or if you will see the movie, I would love it also if you can, put a review, because that's how we get the mainstream. That's why I'm very excited about it being on Amazon, because it attracts all kinds of mainstream audiences that normally wouldn't be attracted or wouldn't find the film. And so if there is a review that, that will, that's positive, it would encourage the mainstream audience to also watch it. And for those who are skeptics, that is the website. For those who are skeptics or, have any sort of, maybe not this crowd, but whoever can say, yeah, we've seen this, or you're cheating or whatever. I have personally investigated these groups myself. I have done it myself, and I've taught it myself, and there is no cheating done whatsoever. I cannot speak for other groups, who, I don't know what they do. I can speak for the methodologies that I've done and investigated. In fact, we taught 2 classes online because of the situation. We couldn't do it in person. And the 2 series were with kids. After the first lesson, some of them after the second lesson, the kids were able to read. We have those videos on the website. So if people want to teach their children, they can now download the class and just, kind of learn. And I taught a class for adults also online, which is much harder. I'm kind of insisting on the online because normally you have to be there in person. It's very, very intense work. And online, it's kind of more harder usually. And adults are able to see colors after the first class, and some of them see everything by the end of the course. So it's pretty incredible. And also, we taught the class for remote viewing, telekinesis, spoon bending. All of that is also on the website, superhumanfilm.com.
Caroline, thank you so much. It's a lot to make a movie. I've done it, and I know it's an incredible feat. So thank you so much for bringing this incredibly important information to our world. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. And we'll stay in close touch with you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And here is a very, very special, another video from Jay.
I hope you're enjoying our show tonight. Light touch, angelic activations, and miracles for 2021. I hope that tonight you can feel the connection and presence of the angelic activations that our presenters are sharing.
As we align ourselves in gratitude for all miracles, everyday miracles, large and small, we give thanks. Like connecting and breaking through more deeply and powerfully with our partners, family, loved ones, and divine appointments. With light touch, you can also invoke exponential financial miracles, or our cups can runneth over. It's a request, and we do it every day. We meet twice a day. We ask for financial blessings. We ask for spiritual wellness and other things too, not just for ourselves, but for everyone here. And it's so beautiful to be serving in that way. As we connect with spirit on a level where you can feel and embody your blessings, it's a powerful and positive place from where you can send requests and affirmations. Light touch is a safe container that connects you to yourself and the invisible forces. As groups like Unify and our Global Peace Tribe connect, our growing community of light workers, healers, musicians, and thought leaders in the world, and here tonight with the angels, we can transform, heal, and join together in community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Light Touch. And now it's time for some more magic. And so Justin Sight's coming back, and Caroline has agreed to help him out. So I'm really curious to see what he's got this time. So let's welcome back Justin and his special assistant who just met him tonight, Caroline.
Thank you so much.
By the way, Justin, if you don't mind, before we begin, if you're legally blind, I would love to speak with you about those methodologies, if you're interested, of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, if somebody could get us in touch with each other, that'll be awesome.
I'll connect the two of you. I'll give you guys each other's contact information.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So let's come down again to where the magic will take place. You know, the thing about one sight becoming sort of diminished, it's often said the other senses become a little stronger. This is really totally in line with what you were just talking about, Caroline, because I feel like the work that you were doing, and I suppose that you perhaps teach now, it's not perhaps so much that we're developing a particular skill as much as we're learning to move our attention into a place where we see that we already have it. That's one perspective on it, perhaps, and I'm going to share how it relates to what I'm going to do now, because as it's often said, when one sense becomes diminished, the others become a little heightened. Now, I believe what actually happens there is, for instance, someone that's legally blind like me, is that there's less need to rely on that sense. So there's more consciousness or attention that's left to flow into the other senses. And anyone can do this. Anyone can experience heightened senses, and I'm sure all of us have, simply by moving our attention, say, into the tips of our fingers, deeply moving it more and more. And suddenly, every little sensation becomes so sensitive. And that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to actually try to find your card, I suppose, using my sense of touch, let's say, okay? So again, since you haven't probably practiced reaching through the screen and pulling the card yet, so let's just try this. Go ahead and say stop somewhere as I move like this.
Stop.
Okay, very good. I'm gonna look down, so I'm not seeing the card, okay? You got it?
Uh-huh.
Yep. Beautiful. And we're just gonna go ahead and put that on top, and I'm gonna cut it into the middle. Now, because I held it for a second, that card, and it's probably not gonna last long, is slightly warmer than the rest of the cards. If I'm able to tune in, I might be able to actually even sense, like maybe even like some subtle heat signature on the side of the cards. I might actually be able to maybe cut right to it. Okay, let's see. Does this feel right? Was this the card?
No.
This wasn't the card?
No.
You're not messing with me.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Have you ever messed up doing something that's, you're perceiving? Have you ever messed up doing something that you perceive as being kind of important?
All the time.
Yeah. So you know that often let's say the density response, the ego response is panic, right?
Yeah.
Many performers know this, many speakers know this, and it's something that we can call a practice. But the more we're able to essentially surrender to that, the more we're able to be completely okay with the fact that we messed up, sometimes even say that we messed up, suddenly there's a connection with the people. Suddenly there's an empathy. There's a sense like, yeah, you know, I'm human too. You know, suddenly perhaps you've been going on this like kind of separate scripted thing, but suddenly a different energy comes through, perhaps more of an authentic one, perhaps. And you know, I've come out of many shows where I've actually messed up, but because of that act of surrender, suddenly it's almost as if that fear energy was transformed and propelled me forward, and something, watch very closely, even more miraculous than what I had intended actually occurred.
I love it.
Thank you. I hope this was the
I
card.
love it. Yeah.
Okay,
So
beautiful.
cool.
Thank you
I
so much,
love it.
Caroline.
Thanks so much. Thanks, guys.
Wow. That
Take
was
care.
Thank
Bye.
you, Caroline, for being such a
Wow.
good out there. That was
So
great.
fun. Awesome, Justin. You rock.
All right, so now, Justin, I'm pulling up. You've got a movie you've made. Tell us, you just finished working with a filmmaker, Caroline. Tell us about your movie, At One Mint.
At One Mint, yes. A week before the first lockdown, I met someone who is now my partner. And I'm 30 years old, but this is what I've been in now since the lockdown is honestly my first intimate relationship.
Mm.
And what it did, as it often does, and is bring out a lot of unconsciousness, a lot of things I was not aware of were there, and I was surprised because I had kind of seen myself as perhaps have gone beyond all of this. I've been, you know, let's say in the awakening process for over a decade now. I've been very committed to it in many ways, and suddenly all this darkness was coming through. And the film is a progression. I have regular sessions with my spirit guides, and when I started making films using magic to illustrate, you know, inspiring concepts and things like that, I always pulled things from my life. And it started with the film Contact, which was when I had my first session with my guides. And it talked about just contact with, you know, the angelic realm, extraterrestrials, other higher forces and things of that nature, and tuning into that. And really for me, it was that experience helped me with my loneliness, to be honest, because at this point I was 29 years old and I've never experienced true intimacy. But it helped me in so many other ways. And when I had the session, they suggested, why don't you make this a progressive thing? Why don't you make films or videos that illustrate your journey? And I think the most powerful thing that we can do to accelerate the awakening, the ascension process, is to humbly, genuinely, and authentically share our process in public to the best of our ability. And in doing so, we can elevate, because people can relate, people can see a humble and share our struggles and our progress on the journey. And I believe that it's very true what's said in Conversations with God, Book 4, Awaken the Species, that the quickest way to awaken the self is to help awaken another. And that's what these films are about for me. They're one of my ways that I feel like I'm contributing to the awakening. And At One Mint follows the journey of not only the difficulties of the coronavirus pandemic, because all the performances, I live in New York City where things were really crazy during that time. All the performances are during the early stages of the coronavirus pandemic, where I set up distance tape outside and I street perform for people. And during the Black Lives Matter protests, right in the middle of those protests, just amazing circumstances came together for me to share these certain ideas that I believed were very important for the time. And that's what At One Mint shows, is pieces of these performances, but it also shows what I was going through psychologically through, let's say, a metaphorical kind of metaphysical journey of my mind of wandering the desert for 29 years, and suddenly a rose came out of nowhere, my partner Alicia, and was there as an angel to show me all of the growth and all of the untapped potentials that I still had, and all of the things that were still blocking me. And that's really what At One Mint was about. It's a film about transmutation of pain and limitations.
Well,
and becoming
thank you so much, Justin. I've pulled up your website. where people can get more information. And it's Justin Sight Magic.
Yes.
And so that's where you can find out, justinsightmagic.com.
Thank you.
And his videos are there. More information about him. He's available for virtual and socially distanced events.
Yes.
And Justin, thank you so much for being on our show, and I hope you'll come back.
Thank you so much.
All right. God's blessings. Thank you very, very much.
Okay.
All right. And now we're ready for another kind of ongoing part of our show.
I'm so nervous because the battery started flashing that I was about to die.
You may want to mute.
Mute it.
I'm going to mute you. There we go. That's, we're all coming from our homes, everybody. People, it's an amazing thing how we all come together like that. Okay, here we go. Here's Deborah. What are we recommending this week, Deborah?
Thanks, Scott. Well, we're actually recommending your show, your Sacred Sunday show that you do every Sunday. And we have the incredible Pollyanna Bush you're going to be working with. She's one of our favorite performers that we bring on. She was on last week, and she's doing an amazing course, how anyone can become an empowered singer. So on your show, I believe she's going to perform and really give people the secrets of opening up your voice in magical ways and how she can help do that. So that's tomorrow, January 10th, 10 a.m. And I'm going to post the Zoom link and the Facebook link, which is Love Coach Academy, in the chat box so anyone can join, and it's free.
Yeah, thank you. We really have a great time with our Sacred Sunday show. Last week, we had Johanna Beekman. Tomorrow, we've got Pollyanna. And the following week, we're going to have a very special, again, connected to Martin Luther King. And tomorrow, the hits just keep on coming. We've got Pollyanna in the morning. And then in the afternoon, Love Coach Academy and myself, we are hosting some Fantuzzi, a whole lot of Fantuzzi and friends. It's the next Rainbow Global Online Gathering. Janice Kaplan will be there, and a lot of amazing musical performers. If you have not attended one of Fantuzzi's online gatherings, they're really something. He's got a lot of friends from all over the world, and they come together and they play music. Of course, it's all digital. It's all on Zoom. And so you can find it by coming to, again, Love Coach Academy. Come to our page, or at 2 o'clock. It's at 2 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow. At 2 o'clock, go on Facebook and just put in Fantuzzi. You'll find it easily. Or you can come into the Zoom room. And Deborah's going to put the link to the Zoom room up. And also, I will post it on my wall on Facebook after the show is over. So there's a lot of ways you can come into the Zoom room. You can register and be a part of it that way, or watch us live on Facebook. And I want to thank Jan Kaplan, who's going to be helping us out on that. I think we have one more thing to share for Global Peace Tribe Recommends this week. And that is, for those of you who were here at the beginning, you of course saw Marianne Williamson. And Marianne is teaching A Course in Miracles. It's a daily program, Mornings with Marianne. I've registered for it. I'm doing it. It's a chance to listen to her share one teaching from A Course in Miracles every day. It's a beautiful practice, and it's something we all do together, again, via Zoom in a digital way. Just go to Marianne.com, and this is what comes up when you go there. And you'll see right away, Mornings with Marianne, and that's where you can register for it. You could also watch the preview video that we showed earlier tonight. And please go to Marianne.com. And also she's doing a beautiful podcast series And she's also got a reality and relationships program coming up February 12th and 13th. So we really want to encourage everybody to enjoy Marianne. Thank you so much. All right, we are kind of in the home stretch. I'm taking a look at the agenda to see what we got next. Deborah's got an introduction to make.
Yes, we've got, we're going to end with another musical contribution from Fanny Starchild and Bigari, all the way from Vancouver. And then please stick around because we've got Stuart Pierce doing an amazing interview about angels. But we're happy again to bring back Fanny and Bigari.
Thank you so very much. We are so honored to be in this show. It's really magical, inspiring, and we did sign with Marianne Williamson. It's such a great place to be in the morning, to change the world, to change ourselves. So we have a children album we did 20 years ago. Then we did a reggae album for dance, and now we are on to mystic music because we've worked with children all this time. And that's why our website is Children Entertainment. She says, put the mic up a little bit, Bigari, right?
Yeah, we're still having a little trouble hearing. Your mic is very, very low, Fanny.
Okay, so here we are. Thank you.
Bright lights, shining stars, powerful creators. That's what we all are. This song is called Remember Who You Are.
Unites us all as one into the light, into the love. At the end of the rainbow, there is a pot of gold, a golden treasure your heart beholds. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. We are stardust, starlight, pure love, pure light. Like a blessing to the world, you came into life. From the source of all things, you spring into life. Here you are, stardust, starlight. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. Remember?
Ah, what a lovely, lovely way to bring our evening close to a conclusion. We got a little bit left, but thank you so much. Just beautiful, all the way from Vancouver. And again, remember that we can get a lot more information about these two beautiful souls by going to starchild.ca, starchild.ca. And this is where you can learn more about Fanny and Vigari and the mystiques that they are. Thank you so much for just the sweetness and the beauty of your music. It's just very high vibe.
Thank you so much for having us here.
It's a blessing.
Pretty special show tonight, huh?
Oh, it's magical. It's so
I
inspiring.
have learned so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, stick around because we're not quite done. There's a little bit more to share. And I also want to thank those of you who have joined. A lot of people registered tonight. Some of you have been buying it as a gift for people. So thank you for those of you who registered. Thank you for those who brought the gift. And thank you for those who have been supporting our GoFundMe. And I want to especially thank Meg, our dear friend Meg Benedicte, and Noel. Thank you. Those are very generous donations that you made to our GoFundMe. So thank you everyone for the ways that you support and sponsor our show. And to kind of say goodbye, Deborah's going to come on and say her goodnight, and then I'll stay with you to watch the Stuart video. Here's Deborah. You're up. You're on.
Yes. And again, Scott and I are blown away during every show. They're always so special. Thank you, Jan and Jay, for inspiring this topic and for helping to produce it. I appreciate our sacred partnership so much. It's amazing what's created. Thank you to all the presenters, the musicians, just totally amazing. So much love gets sent out for these shows, and we really appreciate it all. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah, for all that you do every day to make this happen. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jan. And now we're going to have a real treat. Deborah and I had about an hour actually on a Zoom call with Stuart Pierce. He's a remarkable man who's got a long, long history. Everything from being a very successful film actor, stage actor, but he also has a very profound connection to the angels. He also was Princess Diana's personal coach for the last 2 years of her life. And he actually talks a little bit about that. But here he is talking about our relationship to the angels. And so with no further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Stuart Pierce. Very, very interesting. So I'd love to hear more about your perception about the United States being the gateway to the Golden Age.
Well, this is information that these 12 angels of Atlantis have given to me. And these 12 beings of light are very ancient beings of light known as the Malakim in Kabbalah. They've been with us for millennia. And it just so happened that during the harmonic convergence in 1987, I was, as it were, minding my own business on Glastonbury tour. And these 12 beings of light showed themselves to me. And so I've been working with them effectively since 87. And they shown me in relation to the master, Saint Germain, that much of the oscillating energies that are taking place in our world at the moment, particularly in relation to the United States of America, is to bring forth some very remarkable people who will be the salvation, if you like, it's slightly religious context, but the salvation of bringing forth a new way of being, a new level of becoming, a new hierarchy of values, which really is the remembering of what the ancient values were all about that seem to have become distorted. So as we know, in times of great revolution, we need to be taken back to the fact that love is all there is, and that fairness, harmony, truth, justice, empathy, and compassion are the peerless virtues that sit right at the very core of what we are all about as human beings. So although it's unfortunate that what is taking place is taking place, I believe that it's allowing us to see where the darkness lies, what needs to be atoned karmically, so that we can move forward into the wonderful embrace of the fact that love is all there is. And that's what the angels are teaching. So these 12 beings of light known as the angels of Atlantis, many of whom we know, I mean, for example, Uriel, Gabriel, Michael, and Raphael, the 4 great archangels, they come forward to provide this very remarkable teaching so that we can find ways as human of becoming much more embodied, particularly through the use of sound, because as we know, angels are always associated with sound. And there's a wonderful story which, as it were, synthesizes the whole knowledge of what that statement is all about. There's a great belief in the ancient part of the Middle East. I think this is a story originally from Hafiz, that the maker, the divine one, what we would say he or she today, created a statue of clay in his or her own image, and asked the soul to enter the statue of clay, but the soul refused because the soul was free to be ubiquitous in its own realm. And so undaunted, the divine one asked the angels to sing a seraphic chorus, and the soul was so enchanted, was so seduced by the magic, that the soul chose to enter the statue of clay, and so began Adam Kadmon. Isn't it beautiful? I love that story. And so we see that angels have always had this immensely close affiliation, A, with sound, and B, with human conduct.
And in inspiration, you know, as I hear that story, they inspired the soul to come into the clay. And so bringing it into us individually, how do you perceive that angels and the angelic realm can inspire us during our day-to-day human challenges?
Well, I feel that, the enchantment is chanting energy in. So enchantment. And the way that we are enchanted, the only way that we can chant is if we are inspired. To breathe in is to inspire. But what's also interesting is that the word inspiration is derived from the Latin inspirare, inspirazione, which means of divine influence. So the more deeply we breathe with the understanding, the conviction, and the resolution that we're breathing in the divine, each moment, each holy instant becomes a reverence.
That is so beautiful and so appropriate, because our show is an inspirational variety show. So it's within divine. So you just gave a very powerful practical tool. How do you personally utilize staying in conscious awareness of breathing in the divine? What's your practice for that?
Well, if we're aware in the moment, if we're completely present and therefore in reverence of each holy minute, each holy instant, and the way that we're expressing ourselves in that instant, the only way that we can sound, whether it's speech or song or chant, is by breathing in and then breathing out. And so one of the core elements that I teach, particularly from my background as an actor and working with actors, that the only way that we can give life to, the only way that we can give vitality to, the only way that we can actually conspire positively with the magic of what our utterance is if we're breathing and then breathing in and then sounding out through the nature of the phrase, the sentence, or the chord. Very simple. Yes, it's extraordinary. I mean, I've been teaching breath for over 45 years, and I've been around. And what I find interesting is that most of us are completely unaware of the power of breath. In fact, it's the very first thing that we achieve as we gain independence from our mothers, as we shoot out of her birth canal or we're lifted from her belly. The very first thing that we do is to go, and because the last thing that we do, God willing, in a really, really peaceful way, is to breathe out. And in between, it seems we're completely ignorant of what breath is all about.
Yeah, it's true. My wife passed away 9 years ago, and her last breath is to this point the greatest moment in my life, because I could feel, and there were 10 of us in the room with her, we could feel her liberation. We could feel the exquisite experience of leaving the body. And people are often confused. It's like, wow, your wife's last breath was a great moment, but it's because of what you just described. There is this amazing, when you're tuned in, it's like, oh my God, it's an incredible passageway to the next world. Back home, really.
Yes, isn't it intriguing that that moment is always very hallowed, isn't it? That moment of the dying one, or indeed that moment of the birthing one. There is something that takes place within the energy of the atmosphere where we know that we are in the presence of something that is completely otherworldly. Yeah. And it's interesting that, apropos dying, that the throat chakra, the chakra that we use for the production of sound, is always esoterically known as the gateway for the soul to enter and also to leave. And I remember once seeing this many, many years ago when I had the immense honor of chanting with the Gyoto monks in Tibet. And every morning at 5 o'clock, I met 10 of the monks and engaged in the chant with them. And there was this amazing man sitting next to me, one of the monks, who I was told was 95. And we couldn't speak because he spoke Tibetan and I didn't speak Tibetan, and I spoke English, he didn't speak English. But I remember one morning feeling the space-time continuum distorting as I heard him chant. And I opened my eyes and looked at him, and I saw his soul leave his body on the breath of the chant, and he expired, he died. And he just sat there cross-legged in lotus, smiling, and he stayed there for about 3 days. But he was dead.
Wow. What an amazing experience to have had.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
anyway, so an inspirational moment where we really felt the reverence and the honoring of what the angels are all about. So you're going to ask a question.
yeah, my question is for people watching, what are some of your suggestions for how people can invoke, inspire a more direct experience of the angelic realm or of a specific angel?
Well, there are many ways of being able to do this, but one of the key ways that I thought might be interesting, because I had a feeling you might ask me this question, is that over the years I've created a number of products that allow this level of facilitation to take place. I believe that what the angels are teaching is that feeling is the language of the soul. And so to see an angel, we need to see another's soul. To feel an angel, we need to feel another's heart. To listen to an angel, we need to hear the sound of love. And to smell an angel, we need to smell the smell of love. We need to feel the love. However, the product that I've created is this wonderful oracle, and I thought it might be interesting, apropos the wonderment of what you're creating in this platform. And I note that you have some very illustrious people on your platform, which is absolutely wonderful, because it means that the broadcast is going to be sincere and true and immensely amplified. I thought we'd look at two of these angels, or two of these cards, I should say. And I'm going to, having just shuffled the oracle in your presence, I'm going to take the top card and the bottom card and see, well, what angels are with you for this unique platform? And the first card that I hold up is for Haniel. Now, to give you a little bit of explanation, when the angels appear to me, they always come as orbs, which is what that red ruby orb is all about here. I've been seeing angels all my life, and I've never seen them as human beings with wings. I've always wanted to, but I see them as orbs or beams of light. And that doesn't mean to say that I'm denying the fact that, a lot of my brothers and sisters see people, human beings with wings. And this angel is Haniel. Haniel is the sacred warrior who teaches us bravery and courage and determination and sustainment when we need to create an intention. And the oracle teaching here is integrity. And we see the scales of justice. In other words, I believe that what Haniel is doing is overlighting your program with this quality of integrity, because you're bringing forth a fine degree of information about how we as human can become more fully integrated between physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And therefore, we shine forth the truth of integrity rather than the falsehood of the darkness. And then the second card is Haniel. So that's interesting. You get two Haniels together, the sacred warrior. And this card is hope. So we have the dove of hope flying with you. So the electrification of your really powerful transmission through this program will be assisted by this extraordinarily powerful angelic presence.
I love this. And first of all, those cards are beautiful.
Yeah, the Oracle of the Angels of Atlantis.
How do we get the cards? How do we find them?
Well, they're in most bookstores around the world. And this particular oracle, I have two oracles. This oracle is an international bestseller. So if you go to Barnes & Noble or to Amazon, theangelsofatlantis.com by Stuart Pearce, and there they are.
All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that up and I will show it to the audience. I'll find it on Amazon. And is it best for them to go through Amazon, or do you have your own website where people can go?
Theangelsofatlantis.com.
Okay, so I will pull that website up when the time comes to promote. I've got to ask a question. Is Gabriel in your Angels of Atlantis deck? Is Gabriel seen as Gabriel or as Gabrielle? Because I read once that it was actually originally feminine, and then the patriarchy changed it to masculine.
Well, what you've just asked is open to much controversy. The angels do not have gender, so they are neither male nor female. What we've done is to attribute male or female characteristics, but that's our superimposition in the weakness of our human perception. They are non-gender. The pronunciation, a lot of people say, no, it's not Michael, it's Michael. These are purely aberrations of our consciousness that we use to score points over our brothers and sisters.
That's so, how perfectly human, how perfectly human.
I mean, the point is that the words that we know, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, notice they all end with L. These particular angels, and then Michael or Michael. El is earth. So the former syllables are sacred syllabic forms that evoke different aspects of the elements that exist within our planet, but then finalize with El. So their celestial force is made earthed by their name. I mean, this is really what naming does, doesn't it? It identifies form, so formlessness becomes form, but also what it does is to allow us to understand the essence of an entity, which is why our names are so crucial. I feel that's what it really means at the beginning of Genesis when it says that, and God asked Adam to name everything in the garden. And in many ways, our lives, as you know, we three have lived many years, and so we see that our years provide us with a way of being able to measure the proportions of life, and the more that we can identify form from formlessness, the more powerful our capacity becomes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
But although I'm speaking about the identification of word, I'm really talking about sound. Because all of these words arose out of grunts. That's very Neanderthal.
And give me the website again. It's angelsofatlantis.com.
Theangelsofatlantis.com. Yes.
The Angels of Atlantis.
The angels. Notice the angels rather than the angels. The angels. Because the is always, in a classical context, is always used before a word that begins with a vowel.
Thank you. That's good to know. So, any last thoughts of how, any other tips? And this is so fabulous. In a moment, I'm going to show your website for that. But any other tips for our viewers about connecting and trusting the connection? Because, of course, that which we cannot visually see, we often have trouble trusting. Any insight about that?
Yeah, what's remarkable about these 12 angels, they're very ancient. They're known as the Malachim, and they literally overlight the Malchai Zedek. Now, the Malchai Zedek in ancient Hebrew, in Kabbalah, are the priest kings or the priest queens. So really what we're referring to is the intergalactic brother and sisterhood. We're talking about the great intergalactic council. So they're very ancient, and they come at this time, as they do in times of Renaissance, to evoke and inspire and to enlighten we humans. So each of them come representing one of the 12 archetypes that are the keys into our consciousness. There is the healer, there is the messenger, there is the warrior who provides us with an understanding of courage. There is the angel of the mysteries, or Radziel. And so, but I recommend that if people can go to theangelsofatlantis.com, you'll see that there are pages dedicated to each of the angels. So there are visuals, and then there are prayers, meditations, and affirmations to identify the 12 very specific angels. If you go to the top, you'll see Angels of Atlantis on the toolbar, and the top flag, just click on, and it will take you.
The top flag.
Yeah, can you see Angels of Atlantis in the middle of the toolbar?
Oh, yes, okay, got it.
And then Angels of Atlantis, and you'll see that the 12 will immediately pop up.
There they are.
There they are. Okay?
Wow.
And you can see Gabriel is the divine messenger, Haniel is the sacred warrior, Jophiel is the holy liberator, etc., etc., etc.
These cards, true, these images are just absolutely gorgeous.
Well, bless you. Thank you.
Yeah, just beautiful. And they're so alive. And so just reminding everybody that you can go to theangelsofatlantis.com, which is where these gorgeous cards and all this information exists. And of course, you can go to where it says shop, and that's where you can actually order the angel oracle cards right there with that beautiful man. And tell us about what happens when people join your newsletter.
Well, they become even more aware of the wonderment of what I'm creating for the angels in this particular, this kingdom that we're opening up. Just very quickly, there's just one point I wanted to make about the 12.
Sure, I'll go back.
And this really goes back to the question that you asked me about how can we facilitate a greater instrumental connection with the angels? Much of the confusion that people have is that there are so many angels. I mean, there are millions, because angels are thoughts of the divine. And so what I've tried to do is to make the journey into the angelic kingdom easier for we humans by identifying the specific roles that these angels play, so that we can feel very active about the way that we engage with them. For example, if we have a particular question about, well, when am I going to meet the person of my dreams? Because I've just released myself from a relationship. So how is this going to happen? And you can see, if you go to the bottom right-hand corner, there is so if I can, maybe there are many people out there who are really wondering what I just put forward, So a very quick prayer. Dear Safkiel, please fold us with your wings of light, so that you may feel the immense conviction of the love that pours from our hearts at this time. Please bring forth a sacred partner that we may engage with for the exchange of great intelligence and great love and great joy. And so it is, amen. And then, as we know that through the power of prayer, we've just entered into the mind of God, entered into the mind of Safkiel, something will happen.
And if I'm understanding correctly, does that mean then, because as I opened that, we can hear your beautiful voice if we click on the prayer or we click on the meditation?
Absolutely. Always recorded through, because they communicate themselves through my sound, whether it's spoken or sung or chanted. They're always issuing through me.
I'm so glad that you shared with us, because first of all, you have about the most beautiful voice I've ever heard.
Oh, bless
and
you.
I'm sure that people tell you that all the time. But to know that these prayers and meditation connected to each of the 12 angels that you've helped to identify, this is a wonderful resource. And this is all free, people. You can go to theangelsofatlantis.com, listen to these prayers, listen to these meditations with the beautiful voice of Stuart. But then, of course, let's get those decks. Let's get those decks and bring them home to work with them. Stuart, what a delight to meet you. Thank you so much.
It was wonderful to meet you. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop our recording, but complete our visit. So hold on. There we go. For those of you who've stayed, and there's 267 people still in our Zoom room and hundreds on Facebook, was that worth it? Isn't he really something? What a beautiful, beautiful soul. And there's just another couple minutes, because I had noticed that he had worked with Princess Diana. And so I did ask him about that. And this is just a couple of minutes, less than that, like a minute 40, with him talking about his experiences working with Princess Diana. Tell us about this wonderful new book you've written.
This is the most amazing book, even though I say it myself. It's called Diana, the Voice of Change, and it's a distillation of the 2 years that I spent working with Diana, helping her find her voice so that her voice could become literally the voice of change. And therefore, it just so happened it was the last 2 years of her life. And so it was about how she could acknowledge the divine ascendancy that she was part of and become really aware of how she could ignite her radiance. So it's a book that enters into all of the key principles that she lived, with the exercises that we engaged in, with a tremendous amount of information about who was she and what happened that day when she expired on August the 31st, 1997. What took place? So I go into an explanation of the Shakti that moved around the world and why it was the way it was. So it's full of mystery.
Fantastic. And how do people get this book?
Either through Amazon or in January, at the end of this month rather, and February, you'll be able to find it in any good bookshop in the United States of America.
Fantastic. Stuart, thank you so much again for all that you're bringing through. We look forward to having you on the show multiple times.
Bless you, and much success with this wonderful platform that you've created today. I send you lots of prayers.
And those prayers clearly came through. What an amazing show we've had. One more time, I'm going to bring Jan and Jay on. They're actually still with us live. I don't think that these are not videos. This is the real Jay and the real Jan. And the real all of you, thank you so much for still being with us. It's been a very special show, very special. And, please share this out. You can take it, share it, start watch parties. This is a great show to introduce people to the Saturday Night Alive, to the Global Peace Tribe family. And you're all a part of that. And for more information about Light Touch, you want to start coming to our Light Touch gatherings every morning and evening, go to lighttouch.me, light-touch.me, fill out the thing, and you'll hear back from Jay or Jan or one of their Light Touch practitioners. Good fortune is coming your way. Hope you'll join us tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning for my event that I'm doing with Pollyanna Bush. And then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Jan and I and Jay will be communing with the great Fantuzzi and many other musicians. That's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, and of course next week. Thank you everybody for watching. Take care. God's blessings. Good night.